Welcome everyone, we're back. It is the GG Super Millions. It's a big one. This is a 200 million guaranteed. We're in the middle of it. It is from May 1st to June 6th. I'm joined by Mike Jozoff today. We're gonna be calling a massive final table. Mike, how are you?
Feeling good, man. Excited to take a day off from playing myself. Hopefully watch a really good final table, and can't wait to get the action started.
Yeah, again, season 2023. This is episode 10, but the middle of this World Festival for GG World Festival, 200 million in prizes, and of course the 10K. It is a big one. It's a big, as always, some big names. We're going to see some of the biggest, brightest stars in the game here today. We're going to be diving in and going through the action. We're going to call it with you. I see you got your Triton hoodie on. You're ready for the high stakes. You got that swag. I like it. And as we see the World Festival, there's 4 different tiers from low, medium, high, and super, with $100,000 awarded in prize money for each of those. It's pretty sick. I mean, from $2.50 up, you can be entered into $100,000 of prize money bonus. So that's, of course, today we are in the super. We're in the super section. 10,000 online buy-in, biggest names in the game, and we will be playing to a winner. This is from the Sunday event, and of course, a look at the super rankings for the year. My man Raw has been there for a while. He's got the top spot. I think he won one of the major ones, right? 1,564,000 in prize money. Yuri down there in 10th place, some familiar names in between. We will be updating that. And today, a massive 2 million plus in this prize pool alone. Of course, the 200 million prize pool over the course of the duration, May 1 to June 6. As we mentioned today, 428,000 of first. Some of the biggest names in poker. We will see who is there at this final table. I'm sure you recognize a fair amount of them. You battle. I think you've been playing a lot of online poker, so you're going to probably be even more familiar with some of these names as we see 9 of 212 remain. How much Super Millions have you been playing? Are you playing some of the GG Super World Festival here?
I've been playing a lot of the World Festival. I played the 10K 6 still, like the last big one. Typically, like the ones that are week to week that usually get like the 1.5 million in the prize pool, I'll typically skip those. But I'll sort of be in for the bigger ones, like bigger guarantees. But
we just taking a look here. Oli Shemian in second. He has multiple wins, and Victor Malinowski. I mean, this guy. Who else? 129 big blinds leading it. So 2 massive names in poker that are at the top 2 spots with a lot of chips. 7 big blinds down there. And I don't believe we've not had Austria and Brazil represented at the Super Millions final table. So these countries showing us again, playing a strong brand of poker, and we are going to be watching some very exciting stuff. Let's see who will beat the best. We're going to dive into the final table here and call to action again. Mike Jozoff alongside Jeff Gross. I'm your host every week, Super Millions, 2:45 Eastern. Very, very exciting time of the year, right before the WSOP, this massive festival underway as well. So we're going to see some world-class stuff. Going to be interesting to see who comes away today with this. And look at, did I not even mention Adrian Mateos? I mean, here he is, one of the best to ever do it, right on the side to the right of Oli Shemian, and Adamar, also a very experienced player who we know has some great results. Andre Novak as well, that is a kind of a household name. So you take your pick. It's wide open, and this is going to be interesting if Oli takes his spot early on here. It's a pretty nice hand. It does.
Yeah, King 10 suited, always one of the first candidates to squeeze in these types of spots. Tens is already not, super thrilled, but just going to continue in the form of a call, and we'll see how we proceed.
I feel like I've given Ole some of the most credit ever. He's a world-class player, of course, live, online, does it all. I feel like his timing and just general has been so great so often on here. When we see now here, he does step into like a real hand. He does decide to check, and this is still uncomfortable for Adamar, right? Like, you still worry, does my opponent ever have, some hand he's checking? You would think he'd be betting a lot with the aces, kings, queens, though. So kind of puts him in a tough spot here on how to proceed.
Yeah, I think when they're this deep, I think Ole, big part of the reason why he checks, right, is because Adamar is going to have all of the pocket 8s, pocket 7s. Ole's not really going to be squeezing those, so Adamar has the nut advantage here, having all the sets in his range, not deuces, but 8s and 7s, and obviously King 10 just gonna fold right away.
Yeah, I mean, I was not sure if he would definitely check, give up. I think there's some lines where he could get aggressive, he could lead, he could check raise, but with no backdoor spades, not the best flop to get 2 out of line there. He just decided to cut his losses on the hand and move on. How about are you in for the dinner? You want to do a nice dinner bet? Montreal's a great
Yeah, we got to do it.
Maybe we do one there. That's one of my favorite cities in the world. And why don't we go red or black? You choose. We'll do a snake draft today.
Okay, cool. I'll just pick red for the next flop.
You got red, deal. That works. And then I will also let's see. So yeah, you'll get first or second, and then we get 1, 2, and then 1, 1, 1 all the way down. Audience, we have the hands up promo, which will come very soon. It'll be pinned in the GG chat. That's a progressive jackpot where you can guess the winning hand. Very hard to do. You got to get the exact suit. So I'm going to go with ace of diamonds, 9 of clubs. That'll be my guess today. But if you guys want the official guess, you got to do that in the hands up pinned on YouTube message there. What do you got? You got a guess today for us, Mike? You got a guess in the winning hand?
Let's go. I'll go 10 of hearts, 8 of clubs.
Nice. All right. That seems, I think one of us will get it probably. It's someone's going to get it. I mean, no one's hit it. It's a progressive jackpot. So good luck to you guys. I also have a pinned message on my Twitter. It's a $50 GG ticket giveaway as well. And we will give you 50 or 100 at the end of the show. So we got 3 giveaways, hands up, my Twitter, and what else? We're just going to give away. You're going to follow instructions. We'll have a keyword at the end of the show. Hit the thumbs up, be a part of it, be good to see right here. Actually, we might just see an all in right off the gate here, Mike. This might
I mean, obviously ace king off always is the one that likes to shove. Victor is the chip leader. He's going to be attacking those opens, but here he's got a real hand. And it sucks to flip when you're Rodrigo here to bust. And yeah, this sucks obviously because you have the 550k stack, 700k stack, 600k stack, and to get 9th here is pretty brutal. But of course, ace king is just one that always likes to 4-bet rip it, especially when you consider how wide Victor is capable of 3-betting here.
Yeah, really unlucky to run in that he actually has a real hand. He's just going to get folds a lot of the time where he jams there.
Yeah.
You won't have a real hand. So Victor just absolutely crushing one of those staples on the Super Millions, one of a household name everyone enjoys watching, and he has the goods today. He's got 7.7 million, quite a lead as we see Audemars in 4,300,000. And I missed the flop? That was a flop. It's black, right? It was black.
Oh yeah, I didn't pay. I think all right. Yeah, you go first then.
Caught it on the delay, so I go first. I will go. That's a big flip. I'm gonna go with my man Victor right there. 7.7.
I think we saw that. I think we saw that coming. I'm gonna take. Let's see. I'll take Audemars just because he's second in chips, and I know he's the way he plays, he's likely to get first a lot. I'll put it that way, and I'll just go with my man Mateos just because he always gets it done, and got to go with Adrian.
Nice, yeah, strong 2 picks. That seems fair. I'm happy Ole got left there with 3.5 because he's. Yeah. I'm an Ole fan. I gotta say, I really do. I just feel like this guy just really gets it done. He is fun to watch. So I'll take Ole, and then you get another pick.
I wish I'd waited like 10 more seconds to see that he's about to get an ace queen against ace jack, and then I probably would have picked him. All right, but for my next pick, I'm not going to take Bombacha right now. How about I wait till the end of this hand to see
who I'm going to take? Totally allowed. Let's see if he can up here.
Looks like Bombacha is not going to get picked, so I'll just go with I'll go Andrei Novak with my next one.
Novak, wow, okay. Well, I guess actually, to be fair, there's not many. We are kind of we're down to that section of the chip stack. So
yeah, well, it just comes for me. It comes down to there's 3 guys left, and I recognize one of them. So I know Novak plays pretty well. So not that the other guys don't. I just not as familiar with them. So I'll just take my guy.
All right, I believe that's a Romania flag, and I will take MY 1980. I'm going to go with that, and then I believe you get Millie then, right?
I get Millie, who might be about to bust right here.
It could be all over. We're gonna see it in there. We're gonna see 5, and we appreciate you guys everyone watching. And this is we could be really. This is wow. I guess we had lost one to start right up before we got going. So this thing is moving here. See if ace queen. This is a hand. Ace queen. I just don't love that hand. I just never seem to love it. But let's see if it can hold. Actually, on little extra outs, but 1 card to come, and it's not it. 2 holds, 2 knockouts, and we're at record tempo right now. 10 minutes into the show, we are down to 6. I don't think that's ever happened. So, Mike, Montreal's a fun city, man. You might be able to get like a late lunch.
Well, The last time I was on here, I won the dinner flip. So at this one, if you won, it would just cancel it out, you know. And then the third time, it's like winner takes all.
No. We got to do the dinners, man. We get to do
Oh,
them.
wait, so okay, they don't cancel out. So we're doing 2 dinners.
We got it. Yeah, we get to hang out. Don't we
All
got
right,
we,
all
we
right,
got
okay.
this
We just
is
hang out.
about.
We'll just hang
You're
out.
not getting out. You're not getting out of that. We're going to a nice dinner.
All right,
Two.
cool. We got one in Montreal and one in Miami.
For sure. Well,
Yeah.
Mateos with 3 deuce off, and look at this again. Wow. I mean,
Another
this
collision.
is shaping up. Listen, ace eight's ahead, but we could be 5-handed here. A lot of the time we're going to be 5-handed. We'll say it that way.
I was telling people, I hope it kind of this FT doesn't drag out too long, just because I want to be able to hit max late reg for some tournaments today. So if Ole wins this one here, and he looks like he's not,
is behind it though, and
yeah.
okay, that was getting
All
too
right.
crazy. That would have been too out to be like literally 11 minutes in 5-handed would have been just over the top. But Ole says running cold, actually running pretty good, right? Because that was a short stack. That those hands would go into other spots. So Ole's still very healthy, 3.7 million. Blinds are 2550K, and we are still 6-handed as it stands. Some of the marquee names in poker here. Appreciate you guys joining us. And again, the hands up, get in there. It's a jackpot. We also got some.
This right here is definitely weird, Jeff. Or I shouldn't, weird. It's I'd say non-standard, right? You typically don't see limps. But I know there's a couple of good regs who do like to use some limping strategies at final tables. It's not part of my game personally. But he's opening, he would be opening into the chip leader's big blind, and I think he's the idea, I guess, is just to keep some pots small. Obviously, Victor flops the straight flush draw right away, and now top pair for Ole on the turn.
Pretty crazy board there for Victor. I mean, Ole couldn't get a worse flop and somehow does find the ace, jumps into a nice lead. Although, yeah, Victor's got a lot of hand here. He's got a lot going on.
This looks like a prime check raise candidate, right? Just blocking everything, blocking the jack tens. I mean, it's so if I was Victor here, it would be tough for me to sort of imagine what Ole's range looks like pre-flop because of the limp. Like I wouldn't be 100% sure how he's deciding which hands to limp. I mean, ace 3 suited, I wouldn't necessarily know that that's in there. But he just goes for check call on the flop on the turn, and it's going to go check check and winner for Ole.
Nice run out there for him for sure. Yeah, that was interesting. I'm gonna make a note of that actually. I had an ace 3 suited limp. I guess that is more of a function of the chip lead in the big blind, just deciding not wanting to get blown off it. If he gets blown up there, it's less. He sees a flop. And yeah, that is.
Yeah, I guess he's thinking it's like pretty comfortable to limp call ace 3 suited, and it's not a spot where I guess if you raise, maybe he's thinking. You get 3-bet. You have a suited wheel ace that's like a candidate to 4-bet. But are we trying to go absolutely nuts here against the chip leader in the spot? So I think he's trying to just keep the pot small with that.
Yeah, for sure. And as it worked out, 4 million. He is in about second place, essentially tied with Audemars. And yeah, again, wide open. Novak with a big double there keeps himself healthy. MY chipped up a bit too, so a little bit out of the danger zone for those players. And it is a lot to play for today, as we saw 428,000 going to the winner. We are going to play to the winner by a final table every Tuesday from the Sunday. Get down to 9 in the Super Million, and then we play to a winner here. And Victor, man, I don't know. He hasn't. Let's see. Take a look at how many he's won in season 2 and 3. We have stats for. So Victor, let me take a look. He has won twice in season 2. He's got a final table thus far in season 3, or 2023, I should say. And he has 18 final tables in season 2 alone. I mean, that is astounding. Ole has 8 final tables. Rodrigo 8, and a lot of other players like 2 or 1 or 0. So 18. I mean, that is insane. That is like, I don't know exactly how many were in the season, but very impressive. And I think he's known to buy in a lot, right? He goes in deep bullets, but either way, making 18 FTs is that is impressive.
Yeah, Victor definitely isn't afraid of firing. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Most of these guys aren't, though. I mean, typically like Audemars, Victor. I mean, these guys have the bank rolls and they're confident enough in their abilities to just they break a bullet and they're right back in there for the next one. So
Absolutely. Yeah, no, here we see ace jack suited, actually the best hand. Everything misses, and he's gonna didn't have a
yeah,
flush. I just had ace jack high, but actually a pretty good run out for his hand there.
yeah. So Victor missed the or sorry, Victor went for the really small like min bet on the flop, about 20%. Ole chose to just check call. He obviously has to continue the gut shot against that size, but he chose for a call instead of a raise. And then check on the turn, deuce on the river. And in this line, I think you probably have to call ace high because you're going to have you're so wide opening here. The hijack is Victor, right? That you have so much trash in your range that maybe just doesn't barrel turn and then is now looking to just snap fold on the river, right? So when you have ace high here, it's kind of relatively high up in your range to where you definitely want to consider a call. But I'd say having the jack isn't the best card. A lot of his floats on the flop that are now air have a jack in them. Yeah, but he does make the call. Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, very good analysis there. I think you're right. I think it's just one of those spots, and he's capable. You don't have a diamond. You've got pretty good bluff catching candidate there. Maybe prefer not to have the jack, but as you mentioned, the reasons the call, he does find it 8.3 million. Nice hand there. Very nice hand. And things going his way. He is officially double second place with 6 left. Yeah, good start. Nice start. Everything kind of breaking his way. He's got a good seat.
I remember the first time. Oh, we were little three-way collision looks like.
Whoa, three-way ace king. I mean, this is you don't see it. You don't see this very often.
Yeah. It's pretty. I mean, it's pretty unlikely that all three players get it in, right? Because with the amount of raises that are incoming here, I mean, ace king really wants to fold. So should go cold 4-bet here. I think Audemars is the one that probably has to fold. And then Ole and 1980 get it in, I think.
Yeah, and they get to chop up 200K each in theory. I mean, I guess still ace king suited, right? Versus 2 flush draws. It's gonna.
Yeah, I think it should go. Yeah, I think cold 4-bet. 1980. Oh, so he just gets it in right away. And then when 1980 calls here, I think now Audemars is like, how can you call ace king, right?
Wow. He's ace king suited, and he's one of the shortest, risk premium being not such an issue. So I just wonder if he's actually debating on folding, although it's ace king suited and there's extra money and you're short. I don't know. This is not a spot I envy, but I mean, look, it's a lot of action.
It's a growth spot for sure.
It's gross.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be thrilled about getting ace king suited in here myself as 1980. I think Ladva has a relatively easy decision once 1980 jams. But let's see.
What do you think? I got a feeling you might fold, even though, I mean, this seems like it just, I guess, depends what your motives are, because there's only one shorter stack. It's a good shot, and you are going to be having the same hand sometimes. You're also going to be flipping a lot. I mean, this is tricky.
I mean, when you think about his range that just cold 4-bet jams, I mean, it's a huge shove, right? And Victor is still behind, and there's like a very small chance, but a chance he can wake up with something. So I think, I don't know. I think if I was Ole here, yeah. So he does put it in, and now Audemars probably has to fold. Yeah, right. Yeah. So that's actually what I thought. Where Audemars' money gets chopped up, free roll.
Well, chop. Yeah, that is an interesting one. I mean, I wonder. I think it is. I think it's just supposed to be a call, right? The ace king suited. But it's worth considering for sure. And Audemars, as you predicted, would get out of the way. I don't know if last time I've seen 3 ace kings dealt. That is not easy to do, especially 7. What are we, 7-handed here? So pretty strong holdings. Everyone sharing cards. Nothing hit, and we are off to a new hand. And Victor picking up where he left off, 8.4 million in the driver's seat right now, as we are pretty gonna get deep though, right? Deep stack, 25K, 50K blinds, and we've lost players quickly. So a lot of play left today.
Yep. I mean, that was a huge shove, right, from Ole there. I mean, that was almost 70 bigs that he shoved, right? So I think that if I just to revisit that spot one last time, if I was 1980, I would think like, what is his range that just shoves 70 bigs? Like he would never do that with aces, right? He would never do that with. Maybe he would do that with kings. I mean, but I would think that it's a lot of ace king that we're gonna see. So.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Definitely worth noting at home. I hope you're enjoying. We are going to play to a winner, and we are going to see some amazing poker. That I can assure you, as again, some of the biggest names in poker are here. I'd say Mateos, Shemian, Victor, household names. This guy Adamar as well, very familiar, and Novak, who play a lot. And MY19, not exactly sure who that is, but off to a good start from where he was, sitting in fighting for some big money today. Course 10K buy-in with 428 up top. A lot of buy-ins, a lot to play for.
Yep.
Very, very exciting. Yeah, Shemi. I mean, what would you, if you had to rank your poker countries? Where do you rank? Kind of, if you see a flag that you think are the toughest, give me like your top few countries you respect.
Yeah. So all of the Germans and Austrians are sort of merged into one. Basically, like you pretty much just see the Austrian flag. So I'm going to consider Germany and Austria the same thing because most of the Germans moved to Austria. So I'll probably go number one, or I'll go from 3 to 1. I'm not sure. Maybe number 3, I'll go like some of the Eastern European countries I think are good. I'm not sure to pick one out, but like just the generalized Eastern Europe, like Lithuania, like those types of countries at 3. I'll maybe go Austria at 2, Germany, Austria, and then number 1 I'll go Brazil.
Yeah, I think that's pretty. Wow, Brazil getting the nod as number one. I remember I used to see the Brazil flags, and I was like, oh, this is great. And now I do feel like that is one of the stronger countries, one of the stronger playing countries for sure. Brazil. So yeah, good. We're pretty much aligned, and Mateos is feeling good. The ace 4 going to hold up there on a tricky board. He is chipped up as well, 2.6 million, 3.5 for Ole. And Victor, let's see how wide. He doesn't just go. I mean, we've seen recently some big lead chip stacks just kind of opening up everything. And we do see Victor pass there. I mean, King 6 off, just a little too light. Also, some very competent players behind. Yeah. So just decides to not just go nuts.
Yeah, so I was gonna say here, Mateos definitely with 9s you want to call. I mean, obviously the button open is fairly wide, but it's just such a disaster to like 3-bet 9s and get 4-bet, and you have no blockers, and you're gonna flip against ace king. So like these types of pocket pairs, and even the stronger ones, 9s, 10s, these types of hands still would just want to call here, even though they feel like really strong hands and would normally 3-bet for chip EV.
Yeah, Queen King, 9s, 10, 8 suited. Everyone's got a little something. Ole does have the backdoor spades. He's getting a pretty good price, but kind of thinking is a 10 or an 8 definitely good, and a 10 diamond. That's an interesting one.
Definitely one of the most interesting cards in the deck. Expect this to go. Ole actually might play some leads, but I don't think really that's a big part of his strategy, just because it's not clear that the diamond favors him. Audemars, I expect to always check back here now. Adrian can have a bunch of sets. Flushes are possible. You're not feeling too great about king queen, even before the ace hits. And probably check here. Maybe Ole throws out a little tickle, but I think he should be quite. Actually, Ole probably will. Ole probably will bet here, but I mean on the ace river he should be pretty passive.
Wow, I was just
Mateo
saying.
decides to, yeah, okay.
I was thinking, like, can he consider bluffing here? But I mean, this just seems so unorthodox. He has a nine of diamonds, but wow, just decides that with flushes, his opponents would probably be betting on the turn. And man, what a play here. Is this and 10-8? This is the exact type of hand.
Wow.
There's always almost no way you can call there.
Such a sick spot. I mean, huge fold there from Ole, right? I mean, here Mateos has all of the queen jack. Like, so if I was in Mateos's shoes, I would have been thinking, okay, now I have the nine of diamonds. Yeah, sure, it's a diamond. It's not the most relevant card. I mean, it does block some flushes, but there are queen jacks out there. I'd want to see something more that has like the queen of diamonds or the jack of diamonds in my hand. Um, but with that said, Mateos gets it done in the spot where I would have checked and lost. So it's definitely
Pretty
cool to
sick.
see what. Yeah, it's definitely cool to see what the top guys are doing and how they're finding these creative ways to take down more pots.
Yeah, very cool hand. I mean, that was one. Well, I wasn't even thinking that he was going to lead there, and then all of a sudden the time bank started going. And then he started thinking, oh, he's got nine diamonds. The action's on the turn. Now the river. Does he get to rep it? And he did. And very
It's
strong
crazy
hand.
though, right? Because when you're Ole, your hand is so kind of under repped, right? To have two pair there, so it just feels like such a big fold to. I mean, obviously you're probably not beating value at that point, but he doesn't really have the best hand to call with, right? Because he doesn't block queen jack, he doesn't have a diamond in his hand. He'd like to block a flush, and he just decides just gonna let it go. So pretty sick bluff from Mateo.
Nice spot here to limp jam. Andre Novak pretty much getting the perfect weakish ace that he can
Yep.
limp jam and does get the bite. And obviously still, like, you can run in the hands. It's not the most comfortable. He just calls, which is a bit surprising unless you're just closing your eyes. Gonna call here. I don't know. This seems like a unconventional
Yeah, I think.
line.
Yeah, I would go. I would think this is a. I agree with you, Jeff. I would say this is a slam dunk limp jam spot. One, because he has the least risk premium on him as the clear shortest stack. Because Victor is ISOing so aggressively all of the 10-4 off type hands, and it's just so tough to play a6 off out of position, right? It doesn't flop very well. Obviously, when you hit the ace, you can stack off pretty comfortably, but otherwise, doesn't flop very well. You can't make straights or flushes really, so it's gonna be pretty tough. This is always a really interesting spot, right? Where Victor's got such a wide range here, and it's such a dry board, the queen, queen, seven, deuce. And, when I'm in these types of spots, I always am trying to think of like, okay, well, if I have 10 of spades, 4 of hearts here, and I'm just blasting off, it's tough to manage your frequencies, right? It's tough to not just be always bluffing and stuff, but it's always interesting to see like how good players choose which combos they're gonna bluff.
Look, Novak, ton of respect. No, he knows what he's doing. I'm just a bit surprised. Chip leader, aggressive, limp a6 off, hand doesn't play well. You can get a flop that's decent, and then you check call, check fold. I mean, I get it. You call the turn there. You're basically no man's land. You're set up for a river shove, or whatever. I just feel like the check jam preflop seems like a mandatory.
I agree. I mean, it's mainly an equity realization thing, right? I mean, you just see 10-4 off just blows him off all of his equity, so you avoid all these problems. And again, he's the clear shortest stack, so it's not like he has
that more so. That's why I'm more surprised, just because it's not like he's in a ICM handcuff or he's in third or fifth or fourth out of six or third out of six. It's kind of like clearly the shortest. I mean, you're talking almost double shortest next stack. It's just a bit not really sure. I just like that one. I'm just curious what I guess his thought process is on that more so.
I mean, I guess his thought process is Victor's ISO is so polar, right? Because he's ISOing, or actually at these final tables, like when you run sims on these, typically you'll see that as the big stack, your ISO isn't actually as polar. Like you're ISOing hands maybe like queen 10 off, or even like jack 8, jack 9 suited, like hands that would normally love to just check back for chip EV, but you get to sort of just ISO such a lot that, I mean, if you're perceiving the ISO range to be polar, then it's like, well, with a6 you're ahead of all the bluffs and behind all the value. I'm just trying to maybe offer a little bit of insight into what his thought process could be. But I mean, yeah, I'm definitely with you. I think it's just a much cleaner spot to jam. So what? This is about 13 bigs he min raises off of, and
Yeah, it's getting he's getting in dicey waters here. But again, one of the hands, sort of a good bluff hand off this stack depth. You got to have a few non-nutted hands if you're going to be raising, and finds it. And here he does actually get out flop by Ole.
yeah. So when it goes check on the flop, I think, Andre would check back aces if he's not going to be, c-betting range. Yeah, big turn probe and just gets the fold. But I would think that's a spot where I think you would see most players just range bet small that flop, like given how strong his range is, right? Get to leverage that by just range betting small, and you see him check back. So a couple sort of interesting spots from Andre, I guess, that we've seen already.
Is that flag Hong Kong? I forget. I think that's what that is.
No, it's Macau.
I'm sorry, Macau, not Hong Kong. Macau. Cross boat right away.
Go right away. Victor's been spending a lot of time in Macau, probably getting into some juicy high stakes adventures. So
yeah, I met up with him in last time in Cyprus during the Coin Rivet Invitational. I got that again, the 200K like pro and businessman combination coming up here. That'll be fun. I'm going there next week. Have you been out there? Have you been in the Merit in Cyprus?
I haven't been to Cyprus yet. I'm hoping to go for the first time probably in 2024 would be my guess.
Yeah.
Definitely excited to play my first Triton. I'm just just not rushing it too much. I mean, I'm still pretty young, so just want to make sure that, because those are pretty big buy-ins over there, right? And sort of just trusting the process, and when the time comes, it'll come. But should be pretty soon, I think.
Yeah, it's they built a brand new hotel casino there, pretty immaculate. I've been going there since long time, but they just keep adding towers, and the new one is special, unbelievable venue for the event. And you got the Triton hoodie on, they don't play. They go.
I love this hoodie. I mean, I think it was Seth Davies wearing it, and I was like, that's the cleanest hoodie ever. So I had to get one. Yeah. Jeff, are you playing the anything out there in Merit? Are you planning to get the invite to the 200K, or?
I'm doing commentary for Triton, but I played I like the PLO. I've played some Triton, like the PLO 25K. They started adding some PLO.
I know you're a big PLO guy.
Yeah, I do more of the commentary. I'm rusty. I honestly I love watching this. This is like my study sessions here to see what's going on. So I feel tournament poker is booming. It's just amazing what's going on, and online you see this 200 million guaranteed with for the World Festival here on GG, and it's amazing to see. So it's fun. It's just like I also respect how good these guys are, like the top. You go dive into Triton, sure, there's some people splashing, but there is these guys are really playing at a high level, the top.
I mean, you definitely do get the rich businessmen types in Triton too, but the regs who are there are the best players in the world, like bar none, so it is top class. And it's cool for you, like you said, doing these every week, you get to study a little bit. I mean, it's cool that you get a different commentary guest every time, and you get to talk hands with a bunch of, really good players and fresh perspectives and stuff. People see the game differently. So
yeah, no, it is great. Trust me, a lot of notes, a lot of hands. Like there's been already a few today where I'm like, it's definitely interesting, or seeing why, right? I think that's the biggest thing. If you're watching, you have a study group, you have peers that you talk poker with, take notes on some hands. It's kind of cool too. You can clip it, right? You can go back and show a visual, not just like write it down. You can look at a hand and then discuss with your friends about spots and why. Probably 3 or 4 hands today. Also, I've been, very curious on, or just would not play that way. And I'd be, it's important not to judge, right? Too, because like again, these guys are the best. There's probably very much so reasons why they do something unconventional, and even like the Ole spot, like the King 10 suited, he squeezes it. Then why is he deciding to check fold instead of check raise or c bet? You know, these things. These are the interesting hands to look at, because anyone can make a squeeze or, you know, limp or do whatever. It's just like you gotta have reason, merit, and then be able to talk about it and see what the different
See,
options are.
we'll
Because there's
see
a lot of times there are multiple options on streets, obviously, different ways you can proceed.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, got the tweet out on Jeff Gross Poker. 600 of you on here just getting with us. This has gone fast today. I don't know how long this will last, but I do have that pin tweet for 50, as well as you guys are in the hands up. You can guess the winning hand. I think we had 10-8 off from Mr. Jozoff here guessing, and myself guessing. I think I said ace of heart, 9 of clubs. That'll be my guess for today. You got to make it official. Put it in the hands up pinned chat on YouTube. That is there, pinned by GGPoker, and you guys can have a chance. And here, King Queen, definitely a 4-bet candidate hand. Chip guy with some chips who's not afraid. 3 bets here. I think Victor is going to be hard pressed not to take this spot.
Yeah.
Although, you know,
I think you typically in the 4-bet bluffs, you'd like to see maybe more suited stuff that plays slightly better when called, has more equity against dominating hands and stuff like that. Don't think we're ever going to see him call. I think he's deciding, do I want to go with the 4-bet here or the fold? I think both are reasonable, and he just decides to fold. Yeah, I think king queen suited, he definitely would be a lot more likely, or you know, king 10 suited, ace whatever suited. But the offsuit ones, when you go for the 4-bet bluff, playing relatively deep and get called, it's just such a disaster to play. So that's typically why you don't see it as often.
Yeah, absolutely. And good discipline there. Just again, seems one of the biggest things these elite players seem to just have great timing. They seem to misstep out when they make the right choice in a lot of spots. And of course, some of it, you know, there's little nuances. Could be timing, could be just being aware of the dynamic at the table, right? Like maybe you played with the guy, you know something about them and their game, but there's definitely a lot of different factors that go into close decisions. And again, just the best thing to get it right so frequently.
Yep. So first thing we saw 1980 go for the 2.5x min raise. I do like that when you're opening into the chip leader's big blind, and you're opening from earlier position, right? You're going to open a super tight range, so you do get to increase the size with that range. And obviously, we could see Victor outflops him, and definitely think this one should go check check. You don't need to start bluffing sixes or anything like that. You're not really trying to value bet for protection or anything when you're just opening up the action to get raised. So check check seems like the only way to go. And probably check check again on the river.
Could go. I wonder if there's any blocker bets here. At the same time, though, I think with the stack size of not Novak and MY, he doesn't expect him to be bluffing probably too much here, and just a nice showdown.
I don't think the block bet really accomplishes that much here. Yeah, I think like king 9 might even be too weak for a block. I mean, maybe if he goes, you know, one big blind or something, but could be an idea. But I think check check is just more standard.
That holding, you're happy to have the best hand. I agree. Also, that's not a great card, right? For the run out, like the ace. There's so many more ace X from MY as played. I think that.
Well, the thing with the ace, right, is that the 5 makes the straight now, right? Yeah. That brought 4 to a straight, and the 5 completes the straight. So Victor is going to obviously, as the big blind, have the big 5x advantage. Yeah. So I mean, the block bet does make sense with his range, and maybe, you know, king could be an idea, because you can't really raise an ace there, because, you know, you're at risk of getting jammed on by a 5.
At the same time, that also the reason why I don't think it would be that sizing, right? Because if he does have a 5, he's probably going to go big because he wants the ace to call, or he's just sort of saying I have a 5 or I don't. So that's
I had a spot similar to this the other day, actually, I think yesterday, where it's sort of like, you know, you block bet, but would you really, like, are you going to be balanced block betting like one big blind with your super strong hands when you know he's never going to raise an ace, you know? So it's tough to.
Yeah, so that I don't think that is. That's why I don't think that's a good option. Here we see MY kind of treading, makes a tough call here. King Jack suited. He does have the best hand. Really no way to improve other than a king or a jack on the river. And now Mateos with a fair amount in the middle and not a great hand here. He is kind kind of in no man's land with ace nine off, ace nine suited on this board. I mean, does give up, decides not the time or place to bluff, and took a shot at it and gave up. MY up to almost just over actually 2 million. So nice run here for MY 1980.
Yeah. You have him, right? You have 1980?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not looking great here. I have Mateos and Ladva, and I guess Novak, but you're looking pretty nice here with Victor, huge chip lead, Ole.
Yeah, it's it's early, but it's moved enough. We did slow down after a very fast paced knockouts, which we can expect as there is a bit more play, more big blinds, deeper stacked. Although blinds upper left, you can see what level we're on, and they do continue to go up every 20 hands. So you guys can take a look at that prize pool there as well, and the payouts in the lower right of the screen. And again, 3 giveaways for you today pending. So stay tuned for the giveaway. At the end of the show, we got my Twitter, Jeff Gross Poker. You can go there for a $50 one, and the hands up is a progressive jackpot. Guess the winning suits of the winning hand today. All 3 active giveaways here on the Super Millions as we see.
Big flop.
Interesting flop. Yeah, Mateos happy with this. He's got a good draw with some equity on the pair of eights and ace 7 off, though. Checks back. Victor really playing an interesting brand as chip leader. He's being conservative, right? He's not just like willy-nilly betting, semi-bluffing. He's showing some control in spots that you might expect him to be betting, and I like how he's played today, maybe a little differently than you would expect.
Yeah. I think so yeah, Adrian obviously goes for a value bet here, value protection. And when he gets called on the turn here, it's tough to sort of envision what Victor's range is going to be. I think if he has a hand like tens, jacks, queen jack, jack 10, these types of hands, there's a lot of incentive for those types to bet the flop. Mateos goes for a big value bet here. I think he's actually just attacking ace highs that he expects Victor to show up with and be forced to bluff catch. I think Mateos is thinking that, like I said, a lot of those hands that are strong hands in Victor's range are going to be c-betting that flop. So, yeah, and he gets the call.
Yeah, I mean, this sort of, you see Victor got the one right earlier, right, versus Ole, very similar type of spot. That time Mateos capitalizes on a nice bet, kind of really in tune to where he's at.
Definitely was a similar spot to the last one, where Victor was bluff catching. I think I probably would have called both of those as well in Victor's shoes. So, but I'm a little bit of a station.
Yeah, interesting hand there. I'm sure on the bet size there by Mateos, and really nice hand. 3 million, pretty tight in the middle there. 3 million, 3.4, 3.4. Victor still around 8 with a nice chip lead, and here we go. Top pair versus a gut shot, and the ace 10 does call. Queen 8 with a weak queen, but top pair. Hard to make a pair and hold them. Very hard to make anything, and that's why the game's so fun. I love PLO. I'm a sucker for PLO. I like PLO 5 as well. Big O, these type of games, and high low. Yeah. But this is no limit. So much bluffing, so much creativity, and so hard to make hands.
All right, so Andre does barrel here, and this is going to be a candidate where if the river comes, I expect Ole to mostly continue here. I mean, in this spot, I think you're definitely too high up in your range to consider folding. Yeah, and I was going to say, when the river does come a brick, ace 10 of hearts is definitely going to be the one that you follow through with a lot. You definitely want to be giving up diamonds here as Novak. So when you're barreling the turn with diamonds, you're going to be checking back more often on this river. And when you get to this spot without diamonds and without a made hand, this is definitely the one that you want to bluff. But he decides to give it up. And it would have been a really gross spot for Ole if he did go for a jam.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been very curious how that would have been uh sorted. I don't know. I don't know what he would. I mean, yeah, we just won't know. That's the truth. Probably, I don't know. What do you think there? That would have been very interesting. I actually don't know what Ole would do there if it's all in or
I mean, yeah, it's a spot where you just have a bluff catcher and your hand seems to be kind of indifferent. You just have to go through your process, right? Your process of thinking about, okay, first of all, is my opponent capable of bluffing the spot? I would say everyone at this final table is capable of bluffing all of the spots, right? Then you have to think, all right, what are the properties of my hand? How high up am I in my range? And just go through that normal kind of funnel, I call it, right? Like the funnel of narrowing down your opponent's range, figuring out your own range, and ultimately making a decision with a very marginal hand in a marginal spot. What's not a marginal hand, though, Jeff, is the one that Andre Novak has now.
yeah. That is not. That is tier one. That's hand rank one. That is the goods, the birds, the stones, the airlines, whatever we can go on. There's a lot of things you could say, but running hot is definitely that, and going all in. And honestly, this is the Bob Barker thing. Price is right. It's close for Ademar's sort of. He can't do anything. But Ole starts getting attractive. 280, 350, 4. Yeah, math says call. King 10 suited, aces, maybe a sweat.
It's just you feel it's just so funny, right? When he does the emote before going all in. And I think the reason he's doing it is because like he knows that when it goes raise call in front of him, someone has to call. Like if it folds to Ole, he's priced in to where he just can't fold, right? So Novak's like running hot, you guys can't fold, I have aces.
Yeah. It was exactly that. And he got a nice flop, really 0% sweat, 3-4-4. Don't even think there was a spade available, neither running tens or kings. And that was enough to do it for a win. And maybe does Victor senses, a little, there's a little chink. Does he go for it? Ace 8 off here, 147. Ole does have the hands to play back. And there it is. He's going to step right into it. And Ole, kings may be flat, but the queens, I don't know if you're ever at no point really flat here. I guess you're just gonna go small 4-bet probably to 7.
So if you're gonna flat here, right, it's not because you're trapping, it's because you're actually not trying to get stacked by there's a pretty significant risk premium here as Ole, but
Yeah.
with a few stacks under 2 million, but I mean he just goes for jam and gets the fold.
Yeah, interesting to go for jam. I think it accomplishes a few things, but also maybe makes his hand look weaker, right? If you get some jacks or tens or something in there that may just decide they don't fold to the jam. But yeah, he just does pile it in.
I don't
To
think
your point, that's not to make it a small, right? You're not really inviting king queen suited or ace jack suited to call you there out of position with the.
Well, it's the second time that we've seen Ole just make massive jams, right? The first one was the cold 4-bet where that's a spot where I would have not played any jams with my range, I think, and just gone for a really small 4-bet size. And Ole went for jam there, and he went for it again here with queens. So Ole, has a longer track record than me. He's won more money than me, and he definitely has a reason for everything he's doing. So I think it's always cool to see different play styles from guys. Another hand here for Ole, Jeff. Your guys are running hot.
He is.
Unfortunately,
He's got
it's
some
against each
strong.
other.
No real taker though here. Not a real hand. And again, the aces you'll see some flats, but not this deep. Not in this scenario. And king's just gonna take them on up. Pretty big probably too, I would guess. I mean, it's 5. He's not gonna be too inviting, but you never know. These guys are creative. They do find situations where they go less, but he actually put a little more meat than normally than on it. But that's interesting, right? It's interesting to see like Ole knowing, hey, very good player, chip leader. He's got a great stack, 4 million. It's like time not to get super cute. Like let's move on. Let's not tango, get too crazy. If you want to get out of line versus me, I have it and we'll run it. But I just happy to take down the pot, 4.1 million. I'm in second. And sends kind of the bat signal, right? Lets them know I'm not messing around. All right, Queen Jack 10, top and bottom, little missionary action there. Ole going to come in leading Andre with the gut shot and a heart, but A7, not a great board for that, especially with his stack, but he does peel one. 8 of spades on the turn, nothing changing in the moment.
Yeah. Andre is going to continue a lot of 9x here, right? And that does make a straight, but I do like the size here. From Ole, you just want to keep going with these small sort of probing value barrels where you're keeping yourself uncapped as well. So you can be doing this with all of your straights in your range and stuff. So it's just a really tough spot to be facing that size, as Andre makes a lot of hands want to fold. Limp again.
Yeah, King 10. It's got King 4 in bad shape. Both players going to make a pair here. King 10 in the lead. Healthy in the lead. Does go for a bet. You will see sometimes players checking, but I guess with the limp, just figures, yeah, his hand's going to be good here almost always. And does get a call. Doesn't have a spade in his hand. Maybe go a little bigger here. There's definitely some. I mean, obviously, the whole range, right? Could have anything. 2-3 could have gut shots. 2-4 was check back in the big blind in a limp pot.
Yeah.
So see,
I think it's a spot where I could see an argument for checking just because you're not trying to get blown off your equity. But I was going to say, I think it's more likely that we see a value bet looking to check back the river, expecting Victor has such a, he has every combo, such a wide range, pretty capped at the top, and not expecting Victor to have much ace-x here. So you're not really too concerned at all about this river. Obviously, it's a pretty good river for Ole, and let's see if he goes 3 here for value.
Yeah, I think definitely worth considering. I mean, there's not many. I'm actually a little surprised that he snap checked, but still got 2 streets out of the hand, limp pot, right? I mean,
it just has to do with ICM. I think for Chippy V, he always would. It's just like, imagine Victor reaches that with what was the bottom card, like a 3 or something, or a 4. So imagine he has like the bottom pair card and he just jams the river, like blocking full houses or something. And now it's like, what are you going to do? You're going to call and massively ICM punt. Like you just check back at the final table. But for chips, for sure, you definitely go for 3.
Yeah, I mean, he did also, again, he got in there and got 2 streets, so still finding value in a spot where I think it was well played.
As we can see, I mean, Ole feeling himself a little bit right here with this cutoff open,
Yeah, and MY going to stick on. And wow, this is a very, very interesting card. Only more interesting would have maybe been the 8 of diamonds, but now Ole.
8 of diamonds would have been interesting for sure. This is one where he probably just checks this one back.
Yeah, well,
or not.
Wow. I was just praising Ole's timing and everything, and here now, he's going to step into it with 0%, and this player MY actually is probably a little bit not worried, right? Because that sizing, if on the King 7-3-8, probably expects with his hand that he's pretty much good always, right? If Ole had a better hand, I don't think he's going to bet quite like that, but he could have some semi bluffs in either way though. MY up to 3 million, and Ole kind of just steps out there. So
how do you feel about him jamming the turn there, Jeff? Check jamming instead of going for a check call, allowing.
I think it's fine. I mean, I think that's that's just a spot on. Do you want to try to give your opponent a little bit of room? Are you willing to roll the dice if he has the club draw, he picks up and goes? Also, do you think your opponent's going to shell river bluffs
Exactly,
there, and maybe just doesn't fold with like king queen plus or aces,
Yeah,
whatever he's got. So.
Yeah, in theory, I mean, he definitely has the hand class that wants to fast play and jam the turn. I just think, personally, I feel like, especially at big final tables and stuff, I mean, population is just like, what is he bluffing there? Like I think population, even really good rags, are massively under bluffing that spot.
Yeah.
So, but definitely he has the type of hand that wants to do it for value, right? Turning 2 pair, unblocking top pair. So.
Yeah, it's very, very, very that was a welcoming turn card. I mean, he's having a hard time. He doesn't make the 2 pair, right? And he's just kind of off a lot there. So that was very timely. very timely. I mean, MY having himself a nice final table thus far. 3.2 million, one of the short stacks. Andre Novak also short, doubled up, and he's hanging in there. But these guys got work cut out. I mean, no one's giving it away. Novak is significantly the shortest stack right now, and Mateos actually going to find a welcome spot here. Going to pick up some chips. Ace Deuce, Victor kind of stepping into some real hands. Not really losing much, but he was up to 8 million. Now it's 7.
Yeah, and you know, he's still the clear chip leader, but keep your eye on some other stacks because obviously the more the gap closes between him and whether it's Ole or someone else, second place, it's okay. So here we see Ole protecting that limping range with a really strong hand as well.
Yeah, so he's done an ace 3 of diamonds, king 10 off, and now ace king. And at some point, wow, well, big flop for the 10-6. Although Ole with ace king not going to be putting chips in the middle here. So, you know, Novak though, on the other hand, going to have a tough decision.
Victor is considering a lead, yeah, so he does decide to lead. You know, obviously, when you consider whether or not you're going to play a donk lead, wow, you see that? Novak just folds queen 9 right away.
Wow, pretty strong. Pretty strong. There's a look at who has gone out. The Brazilian in 9th, all the way down to a quick. We got to 6 relatively quick. We've been here. We did see a flip. Could have been a 5. Ace king suited. Novak doubled up for Shemian, and that is where we remain. And we are, again, hands up pin. You guys want to guess the winning hand? If you hit the thumbs up, you'll be eligible for the second part of the giveaway. Make sure you do that throughout the show if you're enjoying. And my Twitter is active. $50. I'll put the link for you guys. Some new faces. We got over 700 on. Appreciate you guys coming in. And let's get that pin out, that tweet, as ace 4 suited picks up the equity 6-7. Gonna have a tough time getting to a river, but at the same time, Novak, he's played small ball a fair amount. Is there a scenario where he does check back? I don't know. I just feel like this is one where gotta kind of take charge. He does that.
Gets it done.
Yeah, nicely done. And I just put that link, GG ticket, on the link on my Twitter there. So again, $50 or $100 giveaway. I gotta figure out who are we giving them for the 50 or 100. Let's go with Victor for the $100 for the audience. It'll be Ole, and we'll give him the tails. We'll give him the power. We'll give you guys 100 if one of those 3 win. If Novak, Audemars, or MY 1980 win, it'll be a $50 giveaway on GG. So pretty nice. We gave you guys the 3 arguably biggest stacks and biggest names. So good luck to those players, and the underdogs at home got work cut out for them. MY 1980 though, so far so good. Romania flag representing there. Have you been to Romania?
Nope.
No, I'm not either.
Definitely want to visit more of Europe. Like, I haven't been to Cyprus either. Haven't been to Greece. I've been to most of the ones that people visit the most, like France, Italy, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's those. Look, Europe's got a lot to offer. I'll tell you, you're in the right spot. Montreal is I would say the golden city in North America, but it's a secret. It's a well-kept secret. Amazing spot,
Yeah.
very affordable. It's got the European flair and feel there as well. So one of the only North American cities that has that, I would say. Very,
Yep, for sure.
very cool spot.
Everyone, like all my American friends, poker friends, joke that I'm like a Euro now, right? Because I'm American, grew up in the States, but got a place in Montreal to go to a French-speaking city and play online poker. You know,
Yeah.
On the Euro sites. So.
Yeah, it's definitely a interesting place, and I think again, well kept secret. Playground Poker hosts big events. Have you been there? I'm sure you've played in some.
Been there, yeah. I don't. When I'm here, I'm mostly grinding online, so I've only been there once actually. But I went with went one time with Ryan Berriuzzi, who you've had on here, I think. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine, so he lives here too, so we hang out sometimes. Went to Playground once. So tens goes for the 3-bet here against the chip leader. I think I definitely would flat this one. Always. Now it's obviously going to work out given Victor's exact hand, but when you get 4-bet with tens, I mean, it's so bad.
Wow.
And now it's yeah.
Oof. Interesting too. I mean, this is one of the worst flops you could have, right? There's no over, no king, ace, queen, or even jack. You get 8-9-3. It looks beautiful, and now
this is such a good one. Such a good one for Victor to check raise. There's very little incentive, in my opinion, to slow play, just because he does go for call. It's an interesting turn too. I would have check raised expecting that like if he has a bluff hand, right? 1980, he's a hand like ace 4, ace 5, one of those. You're just not getting the full stack kind of anyway. But when he has a hand like tens plus or jacks plus or whatever you think his 3-bet value range is, he's never going to like bet fold the flop, right? When he has the overpair ever. So I think it's really good to just fast play. He leads the turn here on the jack. Pretty interesting line.
Interesting size too. I guess he just doesn't really feel threatened much by a 10x, right? The guy's 3-betting him pre-flop, who's been solid. He's a chip leader, so I think he's kind of putting him more on, ace queen, ace king suited, or overpair like queens, kings, aces. So
yeah,
good brick. Obviously, not much worried about here other than pocket jacks.
the jack saves 1980 a lot, right? Because when you think about what's his range that's going to continue against the flop, all of the jack tens, queen jack suiteds, all these types of hands that have straight draws, back doors, a lot of them contain a jack, right? And then when he leads the turn on the jack, now you're like, okay, gonna have so much jack X in his range.
Yeah, the sizing very interesting here. How greedy?
I would go all. I think. Because I don't think that I wouldn't even expect 1980 to have, like, so he can never have a set, right? So he goes not all in, but pretty big size.
Very tough spot. I mean, he doesn't have a heart in his hand either. There's definitely like heart, X of hearts, queen, king, hearts, these type of hands that are possible. And if you're MY, I mean, I don't know. This is why poker's beautiful. Poker's difficult. This is a tough spot. Very tough spot.
Wow. There's a lot going on in this hand, right? So if you're Victor, you know that 1980 can never have a set other than jacks, maybe. I would be thinking that jacks would also want to flat a lot pre-flop. So you're thinking, okay, he can almost never have a set except maybe jacks. You don't expect him to have queen 10 suited much as a 3-bet bluff. He can never have a different type of straight. He can never have 2 pair. So he's really capped at just having an overpair here.
Right.
And when he has an overpair so often, Jeff, right? Imagine you're Victor and you have queen jack here, right? As played, which is totally reasonable. Would you bet this size on the river when he can just have queens plus all day long? You know? And that's probably what 1980 has to ask himself now. So then he's thinking, okay, he doesn't have a jack maybe, but it is a pretty strong line. Jack 5. Ole shows
spot. Very interesting spot. I think also that's what, if you're MY 1980, you're thinking if he has jack 10 suited, if he has ace jack somehow suited or something like this, is he going to play it like that? That's, I think, also the question. What do you really
think, yeah. So I think all of those hands are possible to be played, like maybe not as much ace jack, but definitely all of the queen jack, jack tens, etc. All of those can play it like that until the river. And then I think once you reach the river, if you have jack 10 or queen jack, I don't think your hand is worth that size as a value bet against a range that has queens plus so often, right?
Yeah.
So then you're thinking, okay, well, now I have pocket tens and I block both queen tens. I block all the straights. And I'd be really confused.
Yeah. Yeah, very interesting spot. Nice hand. Back to almost 8 million. Malinowski got the chips, and Novak, who hasn't been super out of line, going to go ahead and bet the ace-6 here. And queen-8, look at that. Nice improvement for Ole. And Novak doesn't get the result he wants on the flop. Let's see what he's going to do here. Queen-8 hits a really strong card. I mean, what a turn for Ole, just to feel more comfortable if he wasn't already. Of course, present straight 9-10, but pretty much a good feeling for Ole. Now, what does Ole do here on the river? This is, again, poker, I believe, so much is just bet sizing, right? It's about being able to put your opponent on a specific hand and then getting the result you want with the size you want. So here now, Ole thinking, does my opponent have anything? Does he have showdown value, or does he just have air? And he decides, look, let me go big. Maybe he can make a hero call. Everything misses, right? Like in the spades. And he just says, if my opponent has something there, he's going to maybe hero call. So with the 2 pair, and it goes for the jugular, but Novak.
So when Novak, I think it's just a function of when Novak checks back the turn, right? So I actually didn't see the flop action. Do you know what the flop action was on that hand?
I believe it was check call, but check bet call.
Check bet call. Okay, check bet call, check turn. So I think when Novak checks back the turn, right, he's capping himself to a large degree. And so when we were dealing with attacking capped ranges, the size that we typically like to use is a really big one to attack those medium strength hands.
Yeah. Yeah, and here we go. Victor's been playing in line here. Gets a nice button hand suited, picks it up, and we are at 800 plus watching. Appreciate you guys being in here. Hope you're enjoying. My co-host today, Michael Jozoff, is in the booth. He's been on before. He's here again. We appreciate the time, and it is very, very much so a electric final table, big money, big prizes in the middle of the $200 million guaranteed GG World Festival. Of course, Super Millions. This is the 4th tier in the super section. There is giveaways, leaderboard prizes, 100,000 in the small, medium, large, and super, each of those. So this is in the super category. Hope to see you guys on. Buy-ins $2.50 up in the small, and we are going to be playing to a winner today. Malinowski's got to be the favorite. Just has to be. He's got the experience. He's got the titles. He's got the chips today, and he is picking up pots there again with not much. King 6 high takes it down. Had the best hand, 8.2 million. Ole Shemian with 4, and from there you see Adrian Mateos, Adamar with 4 and 3 respectively. Ace deuce suited. Novak finding some opens. He's fighting. He's playing. Sticking in there. And I do see you guys on Twitter engaging, retweeting. $50. We'll pick a winner for that as well. And we are going to give you guys a set of $50 or $100 ticket at the end. You guys have Ole, Adrian, and Victor to root for against the other 3. So you guys got the chips. It's going to be a $50 or $100 giveaway. Just got to hit the thumbs up and wait for the keyword later in the show. Who do you got today, Michael? You think it's just, I mean, you got to go Victor. If you don't, who do you like next at the moment, based on what you're seeing, chips, how it's breaking? If it's not Victor, who do you think can win today?
I mean, seems like Victor's in a dream spot right now, right? So it's tough to pick someone else. I mean, Ole's been playing pretty well, making chips, but it seems like this is sort of Victor is just, he's got to sort of just get it done the slow way, right? I mean, he's in a position where he gets to open wide. People have to be pretty passive against him.
All right, pick it up, 8.3. And we are literally, we are, oh, I don't want to say it's just over an hour in. So actually kind of catching up on pace. We were on record pace 10 minutes in, could have been 5-handed. We were a flip away from that, but we are still 6-handed. So it's funny how that works. Novak wins 8 to ace king suited, and then no damage. No one has left from there. And Victor is starting to catch a little momentum. He was up to 8, down to 7. Now he's at 8.4. He's got a nice hand here. Expect to put pressure on. What are the small blind, big blind, when you consider raising as chip leader covering? What are some things you're deciding if you go 2.5, 3, 3.5x? What are you really looking at there?
Mostly just effective stacks, I think. In this spot, what are they? So there's 80K big blinds, so about 25 deep. 25 deep, going somewhere between like 2.8 to 3x is typically standard. There's a lot of different, I'll hold this thought because we're about to get an encounter here.
You get a 3-bet, and probably for all of it. I mean, these guys are deep. This is a huge pot. I mean, oh wow, well he's gonna call. This is to have 12 million chips effectively for all of it right now. Queens to ace king and ace
That's
king.
my guy.
Here, that is a big moment in the tournament. If he can fade the river lady, it is another king just in case you missed the flop. And wow, that was to be like a real run over. We would have been in some new territory on chip lead with 5 left, but no, that is going to level the chip lead out at Malinowski and Adamar, and we're going to play some poker. This is there is poker here going on. We have got 5 players very much alive, and Novak the 6th, who is short but still in the game as well. And wow, Mateos with a peculiar spot. Ace 5 could see variety options here for the 2.5x open. And he just goes for it. And man, if you're NY 1980 and you make it 2.5, you get shoved on. This is pretty much a disaster.
Yeah, I think you just have to fold. King Queen, definitely never one of the hands that likes to just raise, call it off in ICM spots like this. You're behind all of like the shove. Like Mateos is shoving ace 5 as a bluff, right? You're behind that technically, so.
Yeah, I mean, King Jack suited, King 10 suited, these type of hands maybe, but even then they take flops. Like, yeah, it's just there's not really good.
You just can't call. I mean, like you just really can't. It's 22, 24 bigs or so. I mean,
yeah, you're right. It's just sort of, it sucks. You know it. I mean, he's gonna have 4s and 5s and a variety of hands. You're kind of, it's so frustrating though, right? You really have a real hand on the button, gets the big blind. What could go wrong? You get shoved on, now you got to stew over it. You're looking over at Novak. You don't want to bail him out for a pay jump. Big pay jumps, 6 to 5, as you see in the lower right. Real money, 428 up top. Lot to play for.
if I was Mateos and I got called here by this hand and lost, there'd be a hole in my wall.
Hey, look at the discrepancy. Look at the 13 million on the right and left. You see on the screen, kind of see the experience level for Mateos here on within GG. Just really one of the more well-traveled, well-established guys. He's won so much, so at such a young age. I think 4 World Series bracelets, if I'm not mistaken, 3 for sure. He's done it live and online, and shows us how to play ace 5 in that spot. Gets the perfect hand to fold, picks up the chips, and very well done. Doesn't the timing though, right? Like, just the guy just doesn't happen to have ace queen or ace jack suited. He's or whatever. He's just got, I guess that there's also ace 5 still has equity. That's part of the equation there. If you get called, still got 30% a lot of the time, almost 27, 28%. And you're going to get folds the majority of the time. So well played hand. Mateos 2.6. Still always been pretty active. 3.7 on the button right now. And Adamar with some newfound chips decides to go. I think you mentioned this earlier, that Adamar, he's a guy that goes for the win. He's a guy that plays, and here we see king 9 off.
Yeah, Adamar, I mean, he's a super aggressive player. Fun fact about him, I don't know if you knew this, Jeff. He's Estonian and he's a chess grandmaster. I don't know if you knew that. He was like a child prodigy in chess coming up and switched over from chess to poker. I think, full time. So, but he's like one of the top chess players, if not the top in Estonia, and world-class chess player. So
Respect. I mean, that is definitely a very strategic game. We're seeing some chess crossover, some big streamers and gamers that are starting to find poker. I think it's one of those things like backgammon as well. Great game, fun game, but you start going around the world tournaments and realizing a lot more money in poker and a lot more, a little more gamble and excitement maybe too. But those are great games. I wish I played a little chess growing up for fun, but
yeah, so did I. I played growing up. I went to some tournaments, but I mean, I was like, okay, nowhere near as good as like multiple worlds away from a guy like Audemars. So
yeah, we are definitely the game poker, the most popular in those sort of format games of action, right? There's more tournaments, more prize pools, and backgammon for a while was very popular. I know Phil Locke and Gus Hansen's guys were traveling the world and playing some tournaments, but it was a much different level of prize money and also more solved, right? Those games with the different softwares that it is. I mean, you could say poker solved in theory, but it's still very complex, a lot of iterations and spots that are different. And in backgammon, there is actually a correct move, right, with every spot. So that's a big difference as well. But as we see, the 4-5 actually does come home on the river and goes for a small sizing. Very interesting. I guess there's diamonds out there. There's a variety of things, but this spot sucks for Audemars because he's kind of like, oh, I'm sorry, he made the, oh wow, I'm right. It's actually a dream card. Never mind, I'm sorry, he hit the top and he hit this lower end. I didn't realize that was quite a card. Although there is a diamond flush, he just sort of doesn't discount the bet size on the river, right? When he bets that small, he just kind of rules it as not a bet, and he's going for a big bet here with the 9. And tough spot for Victor. Does call. Wow. Nice pot there for Audemars.
yeah,
Misread the board there with the straight on straight. So pretty insane card. And Audemars with 8-9 off, man. Michael, you were onto it. You knew early. You knew he was going to be active, and he's got the chips, and he is going for it.
He ran pretty good. I mean, he got queens against ace king and won, or ace king against queens and won, and straight over straight there. So I run pretty good in dinner flips, Jeff. My track record, like when I go out to dinner, I've only lost a couple that were, I would say, a substantial bill. And biggest dinner flip of my life, there was one that was like, 4 people, and it was like a $7,000 bill. And yeah, and we flipped for it, huge sweat, obviously, and I came out on top. So I think Audemars might chip this thing if I have any impact.
It's turned out it's moved for a bit. It was definitely looking great, but also honestly at home got you on my side. Looking for the $100 if we can have Victor or Ole or Adrian win it. And we are going to see an interesting board here. Ace Jack, double gutted. Ace Queen, top pair, top kicker. King 6, no bit of it. And Mateos with the Ace of Spade. I like Mateos in this hand somehow, right? He's got double gutted. He's got this key card. Malinowski's got a pretty strong flop though, but a little bit of a tricky hand here.
Yeah.
And this is the one we wanted, Mike. This is the one. This is what we're gonna get to see. Top pair, top kicker against a double gutter, but the key ace of spades. And what is Adrian gonna do? Is he gonna find a way probably to blast this in, right? I would imagine it's one of the best hands, semi-bluff hands you could have. You're like semi-bluffing with equity to improve. You're also repping the nuts. You have the nut card and ace queen. Malinowski, where did it go wrong, or is it going wrong? Maybe he finds a way to win this hand. I mean, he does have.
It's going to be so tough to call down here without a spade. When it gets to the river, yeah, and he just folds turn right away. I definitely like it. I mean, you know what's sort of coming on the. At this point, we're playing the flush or nothing game, right? So when you have ace queen here, it doesn't really matter, right? You really want to have a spade in your hand, and I actually really like the fold on the turn.
Yeah. Yeah. It's also, Adrian's falling through, right? He's just falling through. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I'm curious. I like the sizing. I think the sizing makes sense, but curious on what do you think there? Is that just the best sizing, or could you vary that
On the turn with the
500,000 there? What he basically had 2 million. So
yeah, he's just betting a size that is on the flush completing turns in general. You sort of use a smaller size. With ICM, I mean, all these spots like post flop ICM are so complicated, especially when you're the covered stack, and so a lot of the time when you're in chip EV, right, we're using geometric sizes because the goal is to be all in with our value hands by the river, right? But when you're the covered stack in ICM, you're not really trying to put yourself all in. So it just becomes a really sort of difficult, complicated scenario, and I'm far from perfect on it, like super, super tough. So yeah, ICM is so dynamic, and all these hands are so different from each other, and but in that hand, I think it's a good size where when he would bet the river on, like, let's say a blank, he might play a strategy where he uses like an all-in or check size, and the only hand he would use in the all-in size would be like the nut flush, and then some bluffs that contain the ace of spades.
yeah, it's about spot on. I mean, yeah, really, like I said, that was just a great flop for the ace jack there, and he got the turn card he wanted, got the spade to fire. Yeah, that's a very interesting hand. There's been a lot of interesting hands. This is what you get: high level, big money, big names. This is just what you're going to see. You're going to get to see a lot of cool hands, and we're getting to see just that right now as a important hand for Novak. Every pot important, but when he is that short, 1.3 million hanging in there, and our man Adamar really going to work on the players here, opening a wide variety of hands. And here, Ole, though, let's see, he's going to keep limping. It's a little different now. Victor's not just a runaway chip leader, so maybe not. He does not. Jacks, ace, 8, call. Jack's still in the lead. A little bit of a frustrating board if you're Jacks when you get two cards that are above that on the flop, but at the same time, still king out there. Unlike your opponent as a king, there are some draws. You do block the Jack 10 though for a draw. So interesting spot here where it is going to be a check. And Victor with the ace 8 does have some showdown though. Jack 10 now would be a straight, so it's less exciting. And he's going to check, and I think Ole is going to be happy to show down.
Pretty happy to check back, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hello, Novak. Maybe held those from earlier time. Queen 3 suited. Is this the one to flat? Do you flat? Can you, or just don't flat off the stack size? Is it just too cute? You're inviting the big blind. It gets weird. Maybe just get called. Like, what do you think on, and what depth?
I mean, like your hand exactly benefits from flatting, of course, but with your range, okay, he does go for flat. With your range, you should be playing very, very few flats, like if any. So if I were Audemars here, knowing that, right, obviously alarm bells have to be going off when you see the flat off of such a short stack. Because think about like the other hands that would choose to flat, right? He would always jam ace queen suited, so maybe he's gonna flat like what exactly king queen suited, exactly king jack suited. Like it seems just those hands just like to jam a lot. By the way, if he does have king jack suited, now he has two trips. So
Wow.
definitely think Audemars is just going to be like kind of done with this one here.
Yeah. I mean, that is I mean, at the same time, there are hands, right? You get flatted, like sure, aces, kings make sense to flat, right? You're a little worried about, but there are some suited broadways, maybe spades. But man, I just this is if you're Audemars, you're so comfortable playing these type of hands, right? You're playing a lot. You got to be willing to make folds. I think that's like sort of the name of the game. You're going to pick up a lot of pots uncontested. When you do sort of get in weird close ones, you got to just sort of get out of the way, I think, and be willing to make folds. So nice discipline there after opening so wide.
Yeah, I mean, you also just think about what can Andre possibly have there? You know, like that doesn't connect. King queen suited, exactly. I mean, it's and which you block. It's so thin. Like that range, I think just pretty clear fold. Interesting choice to go for the raise. I think this is a spot where against the chip leader big blind. So when you're playing a strategy from small blind against, you know, the chip leader, you want to play pretty passively here, where you want to be just playing a lot of limps and stuff. So interesting that he goes for the ISO with king 10 suited. And it's going to work out here, it seems. When he flops top two, Audemars continues the gut shot.
Yeah, million in the middle, stack to pot ratio, the SPR right there, about 1 million, 1,152,000. So now again, sizing. What are you doing? What is your opponent? What representing? And he does go big, hoping his opponent has king X or maybe a jet. You know, there's also some combination now, flush draws, straight draws, some kind of 9-10, or you know, there is hands with equity that maybe want to play. So nice pickup though. MY's really fought well. He's still 2. He's got over 2 million. Novak has chipped up 1.7 million. So it's getting a little bit. Stacks are really consolidated. You know, that's how it always works, right? It looks like that we have a flip where it would be game over. Basically, Malinowski could just start going on every hand. But now here we go: 4 million, 6 million, 3 million, 4 million, 2 million, 2 million. Everything pretty even. Blinds are up to 40, 80K.
Remember how fast we got down to 6? You know, I mean, now we've been there for quite some time, and now my ability to max late reg some tournaments is in jeopardy. So we'll definitely see. There's a 1K on GG today. It's a really big 1K. I definitely want to get in that. Max is at 6:30, so I'm pretty confident that this tournament will not take another 2 hours and 15 minutes. But yeah, interesting spot here. Audemars obviously going to be ISOing super wide, super aggressively, and Mateo's going to go for the small size, which is pretty much the only play. And this is where, you know, when you're Audemars, okay, so he does decide to peel.
Ooh,
very interesting flop.
Yeah, neither player with a diamond. Queen Jack 8, 2 diamonds, but Jack 10 pretty much one of the, you know, so it's a lot of flop. You got the gut shot, you got a pair, and you know, this is a spot where you start thinking about hands you're up against, the range you're up against. Some hands you don't want to see, some you're doing pretty well against. Yeah, GG again. 200 million, yes, 200 million guaranteed May 1st to June 6th. So we are underway in that festival, the GG World Festival. And here we go with the lead. Mateos now probably not going to let that fly for 160 and a 1.4 when he has 2.4, realizing that he's got a pretty good flop, although it's a really wet, right? There's straight draws, flush draws. I guess the straight draw is a straight though, 9-10, king 10, a hand he blocks king. So not more about the flush draw in a pair. Here you go, gut shot in a pair. So I think we're just going to see a lot of chips get moving here. I don't think he's just going to call and let the player price himself for that. Yeah, he's going to push it up.
So gross now for Jack 10. You have so much equity, right? Even against the hand. I mean, kings exactly, it sucks because and decides to just fold. So my guys are getting back in it. Mateos and Ladva, you know, top two in chips now, roughly. I mean, Mateos tied for second, but kind of anyone's game.
Yeah, it's wide open. I mean, this is wide open. This is why it's such a beautiful thing. You know, Malinowski, you put a price on him when he's got 8.4 million against the field. Next thing you know, though, he is in sort of tied, really tight there between Ole, Adrian, and Victor, all essentially the same stack, and Audemars not too far ahead. So really wide open right now. Now, there's places you can bet on this and pick your winners. I know there's some in-game betting on GG as well, and it's fun, right? It's fun to see because it's no guarantees, and anyone can win. But as it stands, that is your payout structure and standings. You can see this is important for the super ranking points for the year as well. We awarded prizes, and during the 200 million festival, there is a low, medium, high, and super leaderboard, 100K a pop there. So all is in play. And 2-7 suited, nice little semi bluff. Gonna work. Mateos. Gonna get it. Got a momentum game too, right? Mateos with the 4, with he's been quiet, picks up a pot and some big hands going out here. Ole getting a lot of pairs.
Yeah, imagine if you're Audemars here, right? And you know, you can't see everyone else's cards. I mean, there's a 30-minute delay, right? So you've just every aggressive action you've taken, you're getting raised into 3-bet, raised on the flop. You know, you ISO Mateos's big blind, he 3-bets you, then he like, so he's supposed to be able to open wide as the chip leader and add to this lead, and he's obviously just running into it in terms of card distribution from everyone else. But this is always just such a frustrating feeling when you're Ladva and you see this chip lead kind of dwindle.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is. And that's the thing, right? You sometimes just don't know. You're like, oh, are they just playing? Are they coming at me because I have the chips? They know I'm aggressive, or do they have hands? And it does feel better when you see that they have hands, that you're not getting abused. And here, both players really not loving the board here. Effectively, nothing.
Both of them have reasonable candidates to bluff. Usually on like 4 flush boards, you want to be using suited hands of a different suit to be bluffing, and the ones that contain the high cards too. So both of them definitely have good candidates to bluff. And it's basically, yeah, first one in the pot wins, right? So Mateos just wins now.
That's interesting. I don't think I really like how you worded that and explained that. Can you take it one step further? Those at home, why is that specifically the hand that you want to have those hands?
And then you just do a better job of blocking his offsuit, like his 1 spade combos, right? So when you have, let's say, king, queen of diamonds, you do a good job of blocking like king of diamonds, X of spades, like king of diamonds, queen of spades, or you know, all those types of offsuit Broadway combos.
Right. So they both basically had the best possible hand, right? That they both had a high.
Yeah, I mean, up there for sure. Like I think like I said, it was definitely, you know, first one to bet wins, and they both were gonna at some point. So
Yeah. Well, again, wide open. Victor had a very nice campaign today going. He's gotten a little bit one flip, you know, it comes down to one flip, big flip too against one of the big stacks. And here he is. He's in a dogfight now. This is not a guarantee by any means. And Audemars, King 9 suited, gonna mix in a light 3-bet. You know, they either say open light 3-bet tight or open tight 3-bet light, and he is doing a little everything. Open light.
I've never heard that, Jeff. I've actually never heard that. I like it.
That's yeah, you know. That's as I say, he took it. He's just doing all of it. He's going wide and often, and he's got 5.5, and he is playing some poker today. So it is ace queen time though versus king jack. Novak been a note to self today. He's been pretty active under the gun. Queen jack off, ace 2 suited. He's been opening a plethora of hands from this position. Maybe MY 19-8 picking up on it. Also just ace queen 6-handed. Pretty good hand, so decides to 3-bet here, not flat. And Novak, king jack, gonna give it up.
Definitely not sure about 3-bet there and that size. I mean, ace queen off for about, it would have been 15 or 16 effective with Novak and 20-ish effective with people behind. It's probably one that just wants to jam, I would guess. I mean, under the gun, it's under the gun 6, right? So it's just a low jack open. Probably would have expected a jam there. But it feels really bad to 3-bet call or 3-bet fold, which is typically why you wouldn't see a 3-bet there.
Yeah, we are seeing a abnormal amount of big pairs. I mean, we've seen aces, kings, queens. Yeah. It's a problem. We had the ace king triple, ace king suited. We've seen some big cards today, and that is, we did see some knockouts early. We also saw classic flip, ace king jacks. We've seen a few other flips, big flips, and here we go. Ole going to get to pounce on a Mateos open, and for that size and this holding, I mean, is it deep enough? Maybe not. What's it, 32 blinds? Yeah, I don't know if gonna be wanting to flat here, play out of position, but pretty spicy hand, although it's hard to play these. What do you think? No, just discipline, right?
Yeah.
It's the best. They just get out. They know when to move. They know when to shake and bob and weave, and Mateos decides to get out of the way. King 10 though coming in, and again Ole with a playable hand this time. You reverse it, right? You'd rather the ace 3 suited get the 3-bet in than the ace king the next hand get to come at him again. This time he decides, all right, you know what? I just came with it. Let me pass a close spot. Don't need to take every spot. Does bow out. And here what we were just saying, big pairs getting handed out today, and this has got the making of an interesting one. Blind on blind, king jack suited, aces, effective chip leader 1 and 2. You can call it tied. This could be interesting.
Yeah.
For sure.
So Lonzo's going to be running into it again here. He goes for the ISO again with a reasonable hand. And the last time he did this, Mateos had kings. Next orbit, he does it again. Mateos has aces. So pretty good life for Adrian Mateos. Can't really relate of late, but
it's actually, the sick part is the king jack suited is one of those ones, right, where it's like just the book, the solver, it likes it a lot, maybe too much here, and this could be a very big pot, not just a flop, but we'll see. I mean,
yeah, obviously king jack suited can never fold here in this spot. And what a flop, insane flop.
Whoa,
firework flop. We might see a lot of chips go in here. I think there's a much higher chance of a lot of chips going in this time than compared to the last one with the kings against the jack 10. So
yeah,
super interesting. I think Adrian pretty much will never have jack 10 here, right? Because against the ISO, if he has like jack 10 or jack 10 suited, he's just going to call. A lot of those queen jacks, queen 10s, etc. These types of hands also going to just call.
and yeah, I mean, this is
eights 8's 9's gonna call. I think Audemars has a pretty substantial nut advantage here, like in terms of all of the straights, sets, stuff like that. And when the heart comes in, he's gonna have more big suited stuff as well, I think. He just goes for check call. Pretty clean turn for the aces if you're Mateos. You still beat a lot of hands, but it's getting really dicey already.
Yeah, a massive brick, right? One of the biggest bricks. No heart,
Yeah.
no 10 jack, queen, no 10 jack. Yeah, I guess queen would be, or king. All these hands that are very, very scary. So it's like an way above average turn. And I think Mateos, yeah, he just decides that, hey,
Yeah.
I'm beating a lot of value hands. I think the opponent, if he was there, maybe he would play it stronger. If he had, if he had 10 jack, if he had 2 pair, he just beats queen king.
And this is like a really good candidate to check jam, right? As a bluff. It's like if you're gonna do this as a bluff. He goes for just the call. I mean, he has so much equity, right? And always gonna see him lead this river, I think. The heart completer should just be playing a whole bunch of leads here.
Yeah, I mean the stack
Mateo, yeah.
is, so it's like, do you just go all of it, or can you actually ever bet?
No, you just go all of it.
Yeah, it's to less than half pot. I mean, it's just too cute, and you're gonna get. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, unless somehow you bet like, yeah, I guess that's just it. And Mateos, I mean, he has the ace of hearts,
right?
hates.
Having the ace of hearts obviously makes it a lot more likely that he's gonna be. Well, obviously he's blocking the ace X of hearts, but
Yeah, it's sort of like one of those spots where he kind of knows exactly what happened. He knows he got effed here somehow, right? He's like, I got this is not what I want to see. How this hand goes down. But
I think Adrian's gonna fold actually.
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like it's sort of like
yeah.
It sucks because you're like, man, I have the ace of hearts. Like, what does this guy have?
Well, because like, I think a lot of the time when you, I'm trying to think a hand maybe like ace of hearts jack if you're Audemars Ladva would be a hand that you turn into a bluff and lead jam the river, right? Or something. It's probably even unlikely that ace of hearts jack would check call the turn though. So then it just becomes like, okay, how do I win if I call? This is such a tricky spot too, because then you have to think like if Audemars had a hand like what he actually does have, King Jack of Hearts, would he just check call the turn? Would he not check shove the turn? We might see. We might have a few minutes to talk here, Jeff. I don't know.
I don't think I don't think he can call though. Like, what is he putting him on?
Yeah. I think, I mean, this is obviously the biggest spot of the tournament for him, so he's going to take a lot of time as he should. But I think he eventually will reach that conclusion. I'm having trouble coming up with bluffs that can actually reach this spot because he needs to have ace offsuit, ace of hearts, X stuff that floats. That would be a bluff. Obviously, with Mateos having the ace of hearts, that's impossible. So now he would need to be turning other hands into bluffs. Like maybe would he turn like a big pair here into a bluff with a heart in it? Like queen of hearts X. I mean, it seems unlikely that he would just decide to donk jam a queen on the river, right? So it's such a weird spot. And
yeah, it's fascinating hand. It's fascinating. I'm also super curious. I mean, I guess this is actually a perfect example of the booth, the commentary, the face cards up, right? Because if you're imagine the cards are down, or we're Audemars, we don't see what he has, and we know we're Mateos. It's not like I say, oh, how can you call? But yeah, at the same time, you're right. There is a queen king off with the heart. Does he turn some hand into a bluff? But you would think that he wouldn't with like the queen king. So
yeah, because king queen, like you just wouldn't do. Your hand's just too good, right?
Right.
Like
that's what I'm saying. So that's like, so now you're just thinking, what is it? What hands are they that aren't value?
Wow.
Wow. Sick. Maybe some history there too, right? Audemars.
I think. Well, remember how I said earlier that that Audemars is someone that wins the tournament often, and he has this reputation that precedes him. That might be a little bit of Audemars' reputation getting him the call there, earning him the call.
Yeah.
I think against a lot of people, Mateos would fold. I think against most people, Mateos would fold. Certain guys, it's tougher to make big folds against, for sure.
Yeah. Wow. What a hand. 9.7 million. Chip leader. There he is, Audemars.
Yeah, and it's looking increasingly good for me getting 2 dinners out of you, Jeff.
Wow. Yeah. I might have to negotiate one massive one because it's 2 is like that's sound, we could go to like maybe invite some guests. We might do like a banger. This is I'm nervous now. Honestly, I feel like Audemars got it all working. He's look at this tens. He's got things going, man. He's got it going. 10 mil. 10 million is powerful 5-handed. It's a lot of chips.
Yeah.
Lot of chips. I think what's that? Roughly exactly half, essentially half the chips in play, and 10 million. It seems like a nice spot to go to town. Maybe just 3-bet. You got MY with 20, just over 20 bigs, 5-handed. Novak.
So, I remember earlier in the stream, we saw this guy 1980 take a really long time to fold king queen off, right, in that one spot earlier. So maybe now if you're watching the stream or you're seeing some of the hands after the delay and you're Audemars, that could play a big role here in choosing how do you continue this type of stuff. Because yeah, again here with the king queen, wants to do something, goes for just call, and obviously Audemars is not going to like that flop, but
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Interesting hand here. Low maneuverability calls and king queen. Gonna be I mean, this is if you're tens, like it's hard to find hands you're beating. No.
I mean, you could beat maybe like nines. He goes for just checking back. And I think that you have to imagine, like, okay, if he had king queen suited, would he call pre or would he 4-bet rip? Which I think is probably more likely in theory that you would just 4-bet jam king queen suited or something like that. He doesn't bluff the river, and Audemars now just gets to win. I think you have to bluff the river here with this hand, for sure.
Wow. Very interesting. Very interesting. There's definitely hands to note in this tournament. And there is a nice shove. Pick it up. Novak, go ahead. Sticking in there. We are 5-handed, playing to a winner. Appreciate you guys. 73 thumbs up so far. That is the first part of the giveaway. Over 1,000 here watching. Super Million Season 2023, Episode 10, and another massive pair. Massive pair. Kings. Oli this time behind. He's got the solid hand. Tough hand. 5-handed to play. Ace Jack under the gun opening into the button kings. And what does he want to do?
480,000.
Seems in the wheelhouse. Maybe right in there. Is he thinking about flatting for some possible? Is it no 480?
I goes bigger. 580. Okay, so maybe he doesn't use in these types of spots. I think I use more of the 2.5x size, which would still be even a little small with 480, but okay, 580, a little bit under 3x. Both pretty reasonable. 480 actually would have been small. That was just bad math by me, like 2.2 or 2.3. So yeah, I like the size. Ole does not step into it. Throws up the not sure if.
3.4. Yeah, this is ace, queen, queen 10, queen 10. Gonna peel. And a queen of clubs for Novak, key card 457, although that flop is a little bit 457 part, not so much going to be in Novak's wheelhouse as much, but we have seen him open fairly wide under the gun, and this time at 5.
Yeah, not really those types of hands that interact with this board, but you know, the fact that it's a monotone board does make it better for Novak because he does have all the best suited club stuff here. So he's going to have flushes, like strongest flushes.
Yeah, he doesn't bet the flop, and now on the turn 5-12, I guess, right, to your point, he has more weight. He's going to be weighted more. It's 118 to 1 to flop a flush. He actually, neither player put any money in the middle right now. Queen 10 off and 5-12. If Ole does bet, it would probably be very large, but I don't know if he is attack here or not, but he definitely could. He can kind of rule out his opponent having a flush, I think, right? You would think that at some point, even Novak flopped the nuts, he would bet something at some point.
You can kind of rule out both of them having a flush at this point for the most part. He does just go big. And now I think when Novak checks back twice, you can be pretty sure he's not going to have a flush. He's probably not going to have a hand like an overpair here that checks back twice. So at this point, you'd be pretty comfortable taking a jack and betting this size, I think, for value, which allows him to just do this with a bluff as well. Again, like, I don't think having a club in this spot is nearly as relevant because we're not really representing a flush and we're not worried about our opponent having a flush either. I do think this spot, though, has the potential to be like really overbluffed, though, because of that. And you reach this spot with so many hands that that just can't win at showdown and just want to make him fold ace high. But he succeeds and he makes him fold ace high. So,
yeah, we are at the midway point of the knockouts. There's your 8 through 6 finishers, 5 remain. First is 428 up top, big money, and king queen all in, king jack close, but 10 blinds, player behind, and king queen. I think he is not going to play. And on to the next hand. No big pair. Excuse me, but yeah, this has been it might be a record. I'd love to see the big pair counter, like jack queens plus. There's been maybe only 1 jacks, maybe 2, but a lot of queens, kings, aces, and a lot of big situations here. We're going to see blind on blind. I think let's see Novak 6-10 suited is not going to play, and ace jack suited 13 blinds. I think you run the risk of at this stage you don't really want to be limping. Now the question is, do you shove or do you raise and deuce? Maybe
I think your hand is way too strong to shove here. I would think that ace jack off you definitely would shove, and those types of offsuit ace x you would. This one, I think it's strong enough to induce and balance it against your garbage that you're going to be making like 2.7 or 2.8x or something. So yeah, he goes exactly 2.8. And I think against population, okay, he just folds king 3. Wow, he folds. Was that king 3 of spades?
Yeah.
Wow, that's very big fold to just fold in position suited king. Yeah, Novak should just shove here and get it through.
Yeah, still 5-handed. Jack 5 suited in the middle, and Novak with the ace 9. And he's got a decision. We've seen him min raise a lot, sort of small bet, these sort of weakish, okay hands, but maybe he feels that he's sort of gonna get played back at this point now. He's done a lot, and it's really close though. We see him with queen jack off open similar, and then fold ace 9 off. So just kind of
those 3 hands tend to be the ones at the same sort of cutoff point, right? Like ace 9, king 10, queen jack off. Those are sort of the ones where there's 0 EV opens from earlier positions.
Yeah. Big shove force against Ole's effective stack, but does.
Yeah, I mean, Ole has to be insanely tight calling off for 38 bigs with I mean, you can see in the payout structure, it's not overly top heavy, right? Like the jumps from, especially fourth to third, third to second, like these types of jumps matter a lot. So, I mean, he has to be insanely, insanely tight, probably only calling like really, really big pairs.
Some suited hands here. Definitely going to be an open Jack 9 suited. We've seen him open far wider than that. He has the massive chip lead. An A7 suited is got to be thinking jam here. It's just a matter of Jack 9 suited for how much more chips? A million more. He's got 10.5, 240, 400 in the middle. I mean, it starts getting close, but just a little too much. He's going to be comfortable just raise folding, picking up a lot of pots uncontested. So, Audemars, as you said, he's active, he's aggressive, but he knows what to do. He knows how to.
Yeah, and also with Audemars here, right? You're in such a commanding lead that, they say ICM, right? Chips lost are more costly than chips gained, are beneficial, right? So he doesn't really stand to gain. Like his position in the tournament can't really change much by gaining more chips. Like he's in a commanding chip lead, so he's really not incentivized to sort of gamble for that all in for kind of no reason. We're gonna see another king queen off spot where he should fold, and we're gonna see if he can do it. He wanted to fold last time, or sorry, he wanted to call last time, but ended up folding after like a 2-minute tank. So we'll see if he just goes, oh wow, he open folds king queen off. I need your thoughts, Jeff.
I'm taking it in. I'm not sure. That's kind of wild.
I need some help over here with that one. I can't do this by myself. Wow. Not on that one.
Wow. There we go. Big moment. Fives, ace, jack. Ace, jack.
Let's go, Audemars.
It's the board and
no spade.
What a turn.
Oh, what a turn.
What a turn. It's only time, is it? It is.
Oh, it's a disaster. Oh, what a run out.
Olay. Oh my goodness. That turn is too much, man. 7 million, and you might have to cancel your plans. We're still 5-handed.
What is happening? And then he does he throws the gif at him afterward. So like I was saying, right, about position in the tournament, I think this is sort of an important note. Like Audemars is the commanding chip lead, right? If you call and lose in that spot, now you're not even first in chips anymore, right? And the future EV of his stack is way down.
Yeah, that was a big run out after that flop. That's for sure. That was wow. Wow. Jack queen, gonna see the limp all of a sudden. 10 deuce suited. Victor thinking MY with the king 6 off in the big blind. Probably gonna be happy to take a flop. King 6 got the gut shot. Actually, the best hand on the deuce 5-4 board. Novak not gonna love that flop, but does have 2 overs and has some tricks, right? For on that stack size, has some limps that are gonna be some big hands. And king 6 gonna win. Nice lead. King 4, king jack suited. Audemars after the tango, maybe a little bit of emotion tied up in this blind on blind. That was what a EV. I mean, we're talking about playing 10K buy-ins. Talk about having 14 million right now and 4-handed versus tied for the chip lead 4-handed. And
I mean, if Audemars wins that flip, the tournament's just like over, like almost always. I mean, he probably wins the tournament like over 90% of the time or something when he wins that flip. He would have had 80% of the chips in play with 4 left with massive ICM pressure on every other stack. like I'm thinking about the IC. Someone in the chat wrote about the ICM value of the stacks, and I think first place is 430,000, 428. I mean, his ICM value, if he won that flip, might have been like 390, like pretty much just almost worth first place money.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's hard to put it into perspective. Future game there, just being able to rip it in against Novak and MYY, and Malinowski has to call so tight anyway. So yeah, that was intense. And look at this 8-10 off. Is that what you guessed, the winning hand? 8-10, I believe. I don't know if that was the right suit, but
I forgot the suits. I know I think 10 of clubs was in there. I might have been exactly 10 of clubs, 8 of hearts. We can roll it back and see. But I know there was a club in there.
All right, we're gonna do GGPoker, Mike, and your GGPoker username. It's gonna be a $50 or $100 giveaway, so it will be there. GGPoker space Mike space your GGPoker username. If you can't play in a jurisdiction where GGPoker is, give it to a friend, gift it, split it, do what you want. But surely you know someone who can play. And there's a 200 million guaranteed GG World Festival in the middle of it right now. So May 1st to June 6th, that is available. So you guys, be a good time to utilize the ticket. There it is, GGPoker. That is the giveaway info above. And of course, my Twitter, Jeff Gross Poker, there is a $50 GG ticket if you retweet and follow the instructions there. Already 50 of you have done that, and I'll put the link one more time in the show. And then after that, once we get the heads up, we will stop and award the giveaway. And
potential. Wow. So you see, Jeff, I think big spot right there. Malinowski just folded sevens. Mm-hmm. 5-handed. Think just goes to show how much ICM pressure that is. He open folded sevens from the cutoff. So lots of ICM pressure here. And Audemars and Ole are kind of battling. You see he's in there with the queen jack. They're kind of battling for who gets to take advantage, like who gets to edge out the other one in terms of being chip lead, and then who gets to take advantage of all this ICM pressure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're so tight right now that there'd have to be a little more separation. And what a turn. Got them basically
good turn for my guy.
Hammer lock, ace from space, just on the turn.
Ace from space.
Rolls right on in. And Audemars, though, with the weak ace kicker, let's see if he's going to bet or check. Realizing Ole is going to have pretty strong hands here, though, at the same time, hard to make top pair, and there is a lot going on. See if he checks back or goes for some bet here.
I think Ole is always going to just call here. Don't think there's any reason to do or consider anything else. What a river.
Yeah, pretty nice. Pretty nice improvement. If you're not sure, gonna feel more confident.
I think he would have checked back almost all ace-x on the river, and now pretty sure he's gonna go for a chunky value bet. Big bet. Beating all of the queen 10 suiteds or whatever. Maybe he even has queen 10 off that calls. If he has queen jack off, who knows? But not too worried here when you're Ladva. And if you're Ole, see the jack of spades in your hand, get a little excited. But I think the decision here will be between call and fold. Nope, never mind. He saw the jack of spades in his hand and he did get excited, like I would have. And this is a super gross spot for Audemars now. You're just like, are you kidding me? They always have it here, blah blah blah. You do the whole speech, He's doing the speech right now in whatever language his first language is.
Man, what do you think? Noting this one. I'm making my notes. This is he does call.
He's not the guy, man. He's not. Like the meme, like you're not that guy, or whatever. Like Audemars not the guy that you want to try to make fold in these spots, in my opinion. And now, just like that was a huge pot, because now Audemars reclaims the massive chip lead, 2-1 chip lead over second, half the chips in play, and his odds of winning the tournament are right back up there. Going to get a nice check fold right away out of Victor. And he's flying.
Wow. Big back to 10 mil. Back to 10 mil. Wow. This is the 10 million club, is a very good club. And like you said, he's sort of in it now, right? He's not run away, but it's a big difference. So he did.
I think he's kind of run away, actually, at this point, because of how substantial these jumps are. And especially when there's gets to be 4 left and stuff. I mean, Ole is going to be pretty handcuffed here by ICM already. I mean, extremely handcuffed. So blinds go up again. He just gets to ISO like his entire range here, pretty much. 8-6 off, easy, make it 400K, no problem. Yep, 420. Jack 4, obviously, you have to fold. I mean, so here's the thing, right? Obviously, Audemars just has like any 2 here, but he's allowed to have any 2, right? That's the thing. He's not actually out of line by having 8-6 off. You have to still, there's enough ICM pressure that he's allowed to do that. And even knowing he has all these garbage hands, you can't play back.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's fun to watch when aggressive, competent players go to work here, and he is doing that. We're gonna get to see potentially a clinic from Audemars. Just go ahead and press here. We got the giveaway going, you guys. Again, GGPoker space Mike space your GGPoker username. My Twitter is pinned, and we are going to give you either 50 or 100 if you hit the thumbs up. Enter in the giveaway with the keywords, and we are going to be awarding the prizes today. 6-9. He's just going to town. This could be the runaway train. And not adversity right now, right? He's now, it's sort of like, all right, people aren't waking up, and he's getting to take chips down, and I'm getting nervous on dinner. This is feeling like a double down.
We can do one big dinner. We can pick a nicer restaurant than we would have. We can invite a bunch of people and have a banquet, and you can pay for it. So, but let me not get too ahead of myself here, because I've seen crazier things happen than Audemars not win this tournament. So.
Ace Jack, man. I got a lot of notes. I will say this has been a fascinating amount of hands. I'm seeing a ton of interesting hands today, and I think that there's a lot to look through, right? There's just it's a lot of cool hands and spots to look at.
Yeah, I mean, one of the ways I study is I get someone, and I have a couple of different guys that I work with, and what we'll do is we'll watch this stream every single week, and we'll definitely run the most interesting hands, talk about them, think about what we would have done, what the solver would have done, and how we're making mistakes, how we should be adjusting. So yeah, I think this is one of the most fun ways and like interactive ways to study, because sometimes it's nice to give yourself a break from just sitting in a solver all day. It can get a little bit tedious sometimes. King 8 suited here. We'll see what he decides to do. We've seen now that the jumps are more real. He goes for jam. And obviously, yeah, like Audemars just opening so wide.
Yeah, this is, I mean, 12 million. He has got a absolute spot right now. This is what we kind of haven't seen in a while, where someone just gets to be this ahead. Ole Shemian's got 3 million, but really 1.6, 1.7, a super interesting dynamic going on here.
Yeah. Gross spot to have King Queen, because he's probably gonna just, you know, you have a little bit over 10 bigs, 11 bigs. King Queen suited, yeah, definitely just have to shove and gonna be running into it here in brutal fashion.
Ace Queen, great spot. What a flop. Ahead, holding,
Dead.
trying dead. The DD on the turn is tough. That is a tough spot to be in. Audemars, man, he is a one-man wrecking ball right now. This is super intense, super interesting. 14 million, and we might just get to see something we don't get to see. It's a treat when players get to just go on full-on aggression here. Queen 3 off though. Does he have some just min raises? Does he ever fold any hands? But 3
So the
million.
offsuit one here, this is probably too weak that it's going to be a min raise. The suited one, Queen 3 suited. Okay, so he decides to actually just fold because I think he expects Ole to play back a lot here in this spot. The pump fake running hot by Novak with the Jack Deuce suited before. So always got to try to mix up, you know, have a different strategy. He's got to balance the running hot range. You know, we saw it with aces before. Now we see it with the Jack Deuce. But yeah, this is at a point now where Audemars gets to just play a bunch of open shoves here. Typically with all of the suited hands. The weakest offsuit stuff, like the very weakest stuff, like he kind of just got, he can fold still. And then like the king low, queen low, 10-7 off, whatever, these types of hands, he can just min raise. Interesting how you proceed here, because right, king 10 suited feels like a good hand. He has to go for a shove, yeah, because when you raise, Audemars can just rip and you can't call anything. So really, really gross to have. Oh wow, we're gonna see it where it's gonna get in here. Big flip, Jeff, coming up.
So ace queen is sixes. I mean, this is
Oh, he should fold. Never mind. He should just fold. I didn't even. He should just fold. If Audemars just jams, he should fold.
Yeah, I am seeing. I've honestly, this has been one of the most interesting final tables
Now it's a
that
flip.
I've seen. Wow. Wow. What do you like here? If you're Ole.
If you jam, I think you probably just jam, and then sixes is.
Woo!
He snapped. I wouldn't have snapped.
Literally finish your thought. I mean, he is in there. He is going for blood. He's going for blood.
This is what I'm saying. He's gonna win the tournament so often, Jeff. He's gonna win the tournament so often. We need to fade it. We faded it.
Oh man.
Dude,
oh man.
And Ole gets fourth.
Wow. Wow. What a dream spot for Novak and Malinowski and 3 deuce. I mean, it's nice discipline. He folds the queen 3 offsuit, right? That was like showing, hey, look, I'm playing aggressive, I'm doing whatever, but I'm also willing to just not, I know I'm supposed to, I can win every hand, but I'm going to pass up certain spots. I'm going to not play 100%. And here we go. This is a clinic at the moment. And I'm going to pick the winner here. This could be over in a second. I mean, this is literally 17 million, 2 million, 1 million. It could be heads up or over.
Jeff, I'll let you buy out. I'll let you buy out for 98% of the bill.
No. We're gonna go out. We're gonna go with it. We're gonna run it. But this is
it's getting in, probably, right? He's gonna jam it and then just gonna call it off. And
wow.
Another flip.
Wow. Tens. Oh my goodness. He's got him blocked up there. I mean, what is going on? This is an absolute beatdown. I got a giveaway. Okay, we got the giveaway coming. My Twitter.
I win. I have both of these guys.
I
have both of them. Dude, how sick is this if you're Novak? If you're Novak, you're doing backflips right now. You just did absolutely nothing, consistently lost chips, throughout the FT. I'm not saying that in a bad way, like he was playing terrible. I mean, it's just the way the FT went for him. But he basically got to sit in spectator mode and get second for 330K.
I
That's the
mean,
sickest.
I got to announce the winner here. This is going to be hard to come back. I guess at the same time, it's actually pretty good flop here to be in. Dev, you both have pair, middle pair, top pair, middle pair. With
It's probably just getting in here too. Yeah, all in call, and we're just gonna run it out. Obviously, Andre is the big favorite.
Yeah, big favorite to the river. Gonna hold. So there we go. Not over yet. Not over yet. But wait, you have Novak, right?
That's what I was saying. Between you and me, it's already over.
It's over in theory anyway, in practice. Yeah, it is a big lead to say the least. Gonna announce the winner. Well, it's gonna be a $50 ticket today, actually, because of the two. Unless if we get to 200 thumbs up, I'll make it 100. I'm gonna announce the winner here in 1 second. Guys, got 105. You hit the thumbs up. The Twitter, Jeff Gross Poker, is active for $50 as well. Hands up is over for the day. If you guess the winning hand, it's live. It's still an option to get that. We are going to. It's just a progressive jackpot. So if it doesn't happen, then it'll be more money next week. That is a progressive every week. But at the moment, I will announce the winner here, and it's going to be a $50 ticket unless we get to 200 thumbs up. 105 so far. There's a look, 330 or 428, about 100K difference between first and second. And it is absolutely.
This might be going in behind the graphic here. Yeah, ace, jack, queen 10. It's probably just going to go. How many big blinds is this? 140, so it's 10 bigs. He just goes for call. Okay, so. Action turn.
Ooh, and man, kind of a interesting spot. The queen 10 though. Let's see, checks it. Okay.
Check all in call.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that Novak is going to find a way to make sure. I mean, the particular turn card was going to get action, and look at
does check it back.
And all in. So actually, nicely done by Audemars to not double up here. Let me get the winner. All right. Yeah, we got blinds are up 8160. Novak, a little bit of room, little bit, not a lot. 20 blinds, almost 38160. So he's got just under 3.2 million. Again, appreciate Mike Jozoff coming on today. Be another huge Super Millions next week, where it's a 10K buy-in during the 200 million GG World Festival. So be excited to see. And then there's huge names this week. Really a treat getting to see this one play out. And I wouldn't say I would say two of the middle names, right? Like these guys both have great. Look at Novak, over 10 million GGPoker earnings. Audemars, 8 million. These guys are by no means slouches. They are household names in the online world. I think that you talk about Oli Shemian, Adrian Mateos, and Victor. Those are three of the guys that have done kind of live and online. They've really won major events.
These two guys are strictly online guys. I mean, Audemars played a little bit of live. I was checking out his Hended Mob last night. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, these guys are 95+% online. So household names, like you said, to the grinders who play against these guys all the time, but probably a little bit lesser known to the people who don't play against them because they're not playing, the Triton stuff and stuff that gets streamed.
Yeah, it's for sure. It's definitely. I would again say they're sort of middle, like a lot of respect and notoriety online, but very, very strong players. And we're getting to see a battle here. It's not over yet, that's for sure. It's still a huge lead though. Audemars in a big advantage, and it's been an interesting one today. I've seen a lot of things transpire, and we are to the final two, and it is 100K up for grabs, relatively speaking. No deal making. A deuce gonna lock up the hand, at least. A little bit of a curious float there, I guess. Yeah, some good turn cards. Heads up, can't just play only made hands. But now, does Novak with this stacked up want to slip some rope over and check, or is he just going to keep building? Draws, could have an 8 or 10 and not fold. So let's decide to go for it. Didn't get too cute. 5-8 pairs, 9-10 suited, pretty hand to start. Not going to get anything on this board, although again, pretty innocuous flop. Although heads up, wide ranges. Queen 7 off the computer hand. That is the dead middling hand. And 9-10 suited looks like a nice starter pack. And here, Audemars probably gonna just want to raise. Makes sense, right? You got a 5, a lot of scary cards coming, and sort of protect your hand, maybe get called by worse. Does get flatted, and what a turn that is. So pretty nice turn card for the 5-8, unless somehow your opponent was trapping you with the 6s plus 5-8s here. Has a,
I mean, your hand, we're talking about extremely wide ranges. You're more than happy to stack off with a 5 here. If it's kind of like if you have 6s plus, God bless you. I don't really care, you know. And now Andre's got an easy fold at this point.
Nine, 4, 8, 5, 9-4 pair in the middle card. Jack 9-4, 2 clubs. Novak up against it, but 9-1 roughly. That's in the wheelhouse of. We've seen many more comebacks than this. It's not over till it's over.
Fun fact: I've had, they're running these satellites into the 10K WSOP main event on GG, and I've played those, and I've had a 10-1 chip lead twice for the 10K seat.
No,
and lost both.
Oh.
So I definitely know that this is not over.
Yeah. Yeah, that is, it's, I mean, we've seen it so many times and time again. Like it just, a couple doubles, it's a whole new game. Although Audemars really in control here. He's also showing some good discipline. Even that Queen 10 hand, right? Could have doubled him up, didn't, took a free one, showed some poise there, and actually really ended up working out well for him in that spot. So that's what again, these guys that play so well, they show discipline. They know when to put the foot on the gas. They also know when to sort of, balance and slow down, set some traps, set some pot control. And they've really, I think Audemars showcased a wide range today. He's really showed us a lot of class.
We got a little bit of a heads up cooler here, right? We have top 2 up against second pair and the open ender. So Audemars, pretty standard check call. I don't think you have much incentive to do anything, but on that river, maybe check. And I think King 8 is still good enough to go for a value bet here. You're beating any other king with the kings and 8s. And don't expect him to show up here with much 5x. So I think actually King 8, you can probably just value jam or bet not all in too. But definitely have to bet. Yeah, it goes for value jam. Good chance he's going to get paid here. But this is like one of the best hands to call. Yeah.
Wow. Interesting hand there. Didn't note that one. I'm curious on the, all right, 4 million. It's getting one more, 8 million to 12. It would be, it is funny how heads up is. It's like, it's just not ever that far out of reach, right? Especially when it's all about big blinds. So, here 8160, Still playability. There's the queen 7 off computer hand we mentioned.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna pick the winner here, guys. I don't think we're gonna hit 200 thumbs up. It'll be a $50 or $100 stream. And the past winner, you should get your ticket soon. Yeah. And he is gonna wow, he's gonna put it upstairs with the queen 7-0. And man,
it's computer hand against computer hand.
Yeah, 2 fan favorites, and it is it's very, very, very interesting to see the hand selection there to kind of go for it and then fold on his stack depth with queen 7 off. But heads up, just like any part of poker, it's a unique format, it needs its own respect, and it's always fun to just like I look at like free throws in the NBA or something. It's kind of wild, right? You think about it, there's only so much time or how much time you want to put in, but why are some guys so good? Look at Mike McDonald, right? Doing that free throw bet. He put some work into it. He became 90%, you know what I mean? Or he made 90 out of 100. It's like, you wonder how if you're in the NBA or college, like, shouldn't you just be the best free throw shooter?
I've always thought that, right? Because free throws, like you said, like normal everyday people can train at free throws and get really good at them, and they're not something that requires like a whole lot of athletic ability, So I've always wondered myself, actually, like how are like centers in the NBA, how are they shooting 50% from the free throw line?
I get it. It must be something with the centers. Just they're at like a disadvantage with the height or how they're in general, like I guess how it is and their mechanics. But yes, it's crazy that the point being similar. I guess what I'm alluding to is heads up. It's like, why would you not put more time heads up? You got to make the argument, like, how much are you actually heads up? But then how much is the money worth? Are you playing like 1,000-person tournaments? Are you playing these size tournaments? Are you playing high rollers with 30 people? So it sort of matters, but at the end of the day, it's really about, there is time, right? If you want to put work into it, you can get better, you can do your best, and you can improve, just like blind on blind or button versus blinds. There's a lot of things you can do to
I think that's a good point, right? Because so many people, myself included to a large degree, like I definitely haven't put in as much work heads up as I would have liked to, but when you do get heads up, that is where all the money is, right? I mean, unless you're chopping it, which you're not in these 10Ks on Super Millions. So I definitely think my heads up game does need some work. And I think a lot of people just don't study it enough, myself included. But I would take getting second right now. That'd be cool. I'd be cool seconds.
10 jack suited, king set. I mean, I'll be honest, Novak's looking a little more dangerous. Giving you guys time to get to 200 thumbs up. It's not over yet. 50 or $100. It's 50. Going to be 50 unless we hit 200. I see some people. We got over 1,000 watching. 20% getting to that thumbs up. I hope more than you enjoy the show than that, but we're having fun, and I just hit my thumbs up. I actually didn't even do it either, so it is easy to forget. I don't know if you did it, Mike. If you're not hitting the thumbs up, who's hitting?
I didn't do it. I gotta do it.
Right? I mean, that's what I'm saying. I was like, start wondering, why do we not have it? But we only got 50% of the commentary team hitting it, and we have got a interesting spot where this very well could be GG, because the funny part is King 7 actually was ahead and is now very much so ahead. And Jack 10, though, also with top pair and open-ended, this is going to be potentially a big pot, but a check. We saw a similar spot, Audemars check back, but different. And this time he actually has top pair.
Yeah, I think check back is definitely most standard. The 8 river, okay.
Yeah, tough spot. I mean, you kind of feel it like getting a little out of control here, right? Nice fold, 15 mil to 7, 2-1. What was it? 9-1, 10-1? I mean, it's
10-1 at one point.
What's your thoughts on the limping? At what stack depth do you consider start min raising or more raising?
So yeah, obviously the shallower you get, the more limping you see. Like I said, I definitely would like to study a bit more heads up myself. So I'm not proclaiming to be any type of genius or specialist over here. But yeah, the shallower you get, the more you do start limping. I think, around 20, 25, 30, I'd say 25 bigs or less. A lot of people start moving over to limp only. It's just a way to simplify the strategy, make it easier to execute, and not really lose too much EV by doing it either.
For sure. All right. And last, I'll say the giveaway on Twitter is up. There's a link in the chat. Hands up. Good luck to anyone who entered, and good luck to anyone who's hit the thumbs up and hit the keyword GGPoker space Mike space your GGPoker username or friends. That will be the last I will mention those. So good luck to everyone here today. And Andre Novak making this a battle. Ace 5, position, big advantage in these spots. 5 of hearts, key card, but let's see. Ace high, heads up, generally going to be happy to check back, and both players do that. King deuce suited, Jack 8 offsuit, and here we go. Some limps happening. Pretty solid flop. I'd say above average for action. We got bottom pair, king kicker. We got a gut shot, and king deuce suited does have backdoor spades and a deuce. Sometimes you see check raises here. Sometimes you see a call. Favorable card for the king deuce. Hard to make pairs. 10 less likely his opponent has a 10. Got to feel decent. And for Jack 8, you get called on the flop.
This is a pretty good barrel. Yeah, I was gonna say this is a pretty good barrel candidate. Having one diamond in your hand makes you. Wow, he just folds king deuce right away. I don't think that's legal, as they say. I don't think that's an allowed fold, but who knows? Pretty nice to get the walk here from when you got the 7 deuce o.
King 4 and 3-4. No player with much here. Both have a spade. Spade turns. Spade flush would be good for Novak. He actually has the best hand with king high, and Ademar now decision if he wants to put more money in the pot or relinquish. He does decide, hey, I got a little bit of semi-bluff equity, possibly. Can't know if it's good. It would not be good, that flush. And although king high here, asking a lot to call. A call 400, would have 1.7 in the middle. You have 4.5. He does just that. Has the best hand. King high on the river is good. Ace queen 9-9 king plays, and 3-4. Is it white flag time or is it the rule? You got basically the worst hand you can have.
Tough to show down 4 high. That's what I'll say. You do have to think about his range. Okay, so now what hands is he going to start folding on the river? Is he going to start folding queen X and stuff like that? He goes for just pot, and I think when you have king 4, no way you can. I mean, it's kind of a random spot to get really stationy. I think you just have so many hands to call here, and it's kind of weird to see, right, when he folds the deuce on the turn on the 10. What was it? 10-7 deuce. 10-7 deuce deuce, or 10-7 deuce 10, and he folds the pair on the turn, and now all of a sudden getting really sticky with just king high, and considering calling a huge bet on the river, decides to let it go. So it's probably good. Swing some momentum back in the favor of Mr. Ladva.
Yeah. Yeah, he needs he's in a battle, I'll tell you that. It's not over. 16.4 though, kind of rebounding here a little bit. Queen 3, 5, 7, 5 pairs on the turn. Nice card there.
Nice. This is pretty nice. You get a deuce and a 3 to continue a lot here, going for a pretty thin value barrel, not getting raised that often on that turn, and then just get to check back the river. Snap check back.
Ace Deuce suited. Shout out to Michigan, Ann Arbor, Michigan. Go Blue. Predict an undefeated season. Had a great season last year. I don't know any football fans out there. I was born and raised in Ann Arbor, so I'm a big Michigan fan. Exciting to see them turn around. Big time in sports. A lot of action. NBA playoffs, Champions League. What's your sport? What do you go with?
I'm not a big soccer fan, but I'm big into pretty much all American sports. Basketball I used to be more into. I'm not watching as closely now, but yeah, baseball, football, hockey, tennis, golf, MMA.
Yeah, best time of year, I think, for sports with the playoffs, NHL as well. Not a huge NHL fan, but gets kind of exciting. Playoff hockey and
hockey is awesome. I mean, I used to, I played hockey growing up. CCM is actually a hockey hat that I'm wearing right now. Trying to get back into it. Living in Canada now, hockey's massive over here. Obviously, I live right on a little river, and it freezes over like 6 months out of the year, and you just see hockey games break out randomly just on the river. So definitely a big hockey influence. Living in Canada definitely got me back into it a bit more. So
nice bet from Audemars there. Gets the better hand of fold, turns a pair, and goes for a bet there. I'd say aggression, a little more aggression. Audemars, you kind of alluded to that early in the show. He's more kind of goes for the win, and Novak was playing pretty. Not, I don't want to say passive. He was passive. Ace-6 off stands out where he
just slightly more passive than Audemars, which most people are. So I think we're gonna have a candidate to go for the. Okay, he does just actually go for call, and obviously flops huge. 9-3 of spades is a huge candidate to barrel off here, right? You have the gut shot, you have the backdoor, you have the backdoor spades, you do have 9 high on a board that favors you. Queen of Hearts might allow him to slow down a bit more, but also a barrel would be totally reasonable. It's just really tough, right? Because these these pots matter so much now if you're Novak, and it really just sucks to give up, wave the white flag with 9 high, and just concede this pot. Goes queen here, and again, have one of the worst hands we can have here. We don't want to be bluffing the heart combos. We don't have a heart combo. We have one that wants to just go for it. Does Andre pull the trigger? He does pull the trigger. Wow. And Audemars got a really good bluff catcher, and this could be it. Ace of Hearts is actually good to have.
Wow. He calls,
and that's it.
He calls. And I think, did I announce the winner? It is, let me do that right now. Wow. It is John Schmidt. And I'm going to give 100, man. You guys stepped up, got up there, and congrats to Audemars Ladba. He is your champion. Super Millions 2023, episode 10, during the GG World Festival, 200 million guaranteed. That was quite a call, but as you said, that was a good candidate to call. So you weren't surprised there. You didn't take that long.
Yeah, it didn't take long at all. You block all sorts of stuff, unblock all the bluffs, heads up, super wide ranges. You have top pair and a really good candidate. So he didn't take too long. I think he always knew he was calling. Really, really nice final table. Was impressed with pretty much almost all the play that we saw. I thought everyone played well. A lot of interesting hands, like you like to say. A lot of big pocket pairs, a lot of big pots. The 3-way ace-king hand. So a lot of action. And I'm just happy to be back on here, Jeff. And hopefully we'll do it again one day.
Well, listen, I gotta say, I appreciate it. Two-time guest. We will have you on again in the future for sure. We really appreciate the analysis, taking the time. Enjoy Montreal. Everyone at home, want to remind you, May 1st to June 6th is the GG World Festival, 200 million guaranteed. And we will be back next Tuesday at 2:45 p.m. Eastern for more high-stakes poker, big guest names, and of course, the biggest, brightest stars in the game. Appreciate the time, everyone. Enjoy your day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the thumbs ups, and we will see you next week for more giveaways. Appreciate you guys. Thanks, Mike.